You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
Plink, plink, plinked in the butt.
The wasteland is a host of apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, gross atomic waste. From deep within the core, gross atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 414th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight, we've got Jess. Hi, Jess.
Hey, Andrew. Greets, everybody.
Also, Ray. What's up, Ray?
Hello, hello.
And returning frequent feedbacker, Eric Solior. What's up, Solior? How you doing, sir?
Hey, thanks again for having me on. It's always a blast.
And we are the show who compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by comparing characters, by playing the same quest with characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. So welcome, everyone. Tonight on the show, we'll go through a little bit of our gameplay, what we've been playing recently, and also we have some feedback submissions. Got one from longtime listener and roundtabler Jen is hopping back in, so we'll hear from Jen. We've got another edition from Blaze, also from Lee, and first time, long time Archin. So we'll hear from some folks with feedback. We'll do a little bit of game time later, and hopefully we're going to test out a little prize giveaway maybe. So everyone live in the Discord, get on your keyboards. Also, a little bit of iguana bits coming up, and maybe some shouts on the way out the door. So, let's go ahead and roll into a little bit of gameplay. So, Eric, why don't you start us off? What have you been doing? You been playing any Fallout recently?
Always. So, yeah, after that... After that last feedback I sent in, Jess and I were kind of having a little bit of a chat to just figure out what is going on with my crashing. And we kind of determined that it's probably my system. So she said, get your ass to Mars. No, sorry, I just had to throw that little Arnold in there. She said, okay, do not go anywhere east or north.
Yeah, we kind of like sketched out a safe zone to how to leave a good neighbor in one piece without crashing.
Yeah, and I mean, she's right, because immediately east is the old corner bookstore, and that has always been a crashy area for me. So I got out of downtown Boston, and I figured, you know what? Brotherhood of Steel is my faction, my assigned faction, so why don't I start doing that? I've never done it before. I got to do it at least once, right?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah. So I'd already encountered the gunfight with Dance and the ghouls outside there, so I'd already cleared that up. So met up with Dance again. Reese, I now understand why everybody hates him. And it's funny, was it Catherine that said something about how she's trying to be sarcastic? I totally gave him a sarcastic response, like he was kind of being himself, and I'm just like, oh, you don't want to hug and be friends?
I know, Jess keeps
made me laugh.
Jess keeps reposting this tweet where someone smacks him in the face with a rifle or something.
Body slammed him like Hulk Hogan,
yeah.
Andre style. Which
Classic.
I want to learn how to do that. That was fabulous. So I did not talk to Reese after that. I instead, I think I originally went with Dance to the Pridwin and started Fort Strong and got killed, and realized that I'd never saved. So I had to go back 45 minutes.
Good. Well, 45 minutes, that's bad, but, I've heard people be like, yeah, it was 3 hours ago. Oh, gee whiz.
That behemoth, man. Like, if you don't, like, I was doing this on stream, and I didn't want people to rewatch what I just did. So I instead did Scribe Halen's quest to retrieve whatever it is from that area. I can't remember exactly what it was, some like beacon or something. I can't remember what it was. It was in a desk. And then I went back and did the the first Pridwin quest to take Fort Strong off stream. And because I didn't want to put people through that again. And I was, no, actually, I think I did do it on stream. And I wanted to target that legendary super mutant first before taking out because as soon as you take out the behemoth, you'll land the vertibird. The problem is if you don't take them all out quick enough, that behemoth will take you down. Like he'll blow up that vertibird because he's chucking rocks and everything at you. So I was able, I got it to where the legendary mutated and regained his health, and then sat down after taking out the behemoth, cleared everything out, got inside. And once you get to the bottom, there's a super mutant with a missile launcher that will one-shot you if you're not careful.
If you're up in the vertibird, right?
Well, no, once you get inside, there's one
inside
with a missile launcher that will take you out really quickly. So got Fort Strong cleared out, and now I have 2 quests that are sending me to the Glowing Sea. So I am now on the edge of it, and I should be doing that sometime tomorrow morning. I'm going to try and stream during the day because I got something going on in the evening. So, which I'm sure we'll mention toward the end of the show. So that is where I'm at now. And I will say that I did all this with Hancock, and after that, Dance kind of wants to go with you, and I think I accidentally said yes, and I was like, no, I want Hancock back, and they had some words exchanged.
That some of that companion swap dialogue.
Yes,
yeah, some of them don't get along as well as others.
I was like, get the hell away from me, freak. But when I was talking to Maxon, Hancock actually complimented Max and was like, well, you certainly made an impressive entrance there. But yeah, that companion dialogue is always great. But yeah, I'm not gonna run around with Dance. So
I want a mod where you can just take a mini nuke and launch it into the Pridwin as soon as you see it in the sky and don't have to deal with the Brotherhood for the rest of the game.
Can you imagine? What a funny idea. Well, it's like if you leave the wrong way. We were talking with Clint a while back, and he kind of discovered that if you leave Fort Hagen out the wrong door, then they'll never show up, and you can continue forward in a non-Brotherhood Commonwealth.
Oh, the wondrousness of the new world without the Brotherhood. Actually, it would just be continued because that was their first time showing up, really. Nice. What else are you getting into there, Eric?
I mean, definitely been playing some Redfall. I think I'm just about 20 hours into that.
Oh, nice.
Don't really want to give any spoilers from the story, but yeah, it gotten pretty decently far in the story. So it's been a lot of fun. Definitely not perfect, but
you doing the multiplayer or individual?
I have not yet. Really had the opportunity to. KDB and I were going to last weekend. That just never happened, but hopefully at some point, I'll be able to hop on with somebody. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's been great.
Before we get too far away from it, toss out your Twitch, not YouTube, right? So toss out your Twitch address for us.
Just twitch.tv/Suliore,
Suliore. Did you pick up Breath of the Wild 2? What's that one called?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. Did you pick up the new Zelda game?
No. I'm trying to work on upgrading my Xbox, so hopefully I won't have these crashing issues. Mm-hmm. And also we're saving up for the trip to Indy next week. So.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Coming in for the good old car race,
That I am not going to watch. But yeah.
You picked the worst goddamn weekend of the year to come to Indianapolis. That is the only weekend where my wife and I determine we are not breaking the boundary into the city of Indianapolis. We will not go into town that day.
Hotel prices were insane.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they double at least that weekend, man.
My family doesn't have any room, which we wouldn't want to impose that anyway. But we had to book it like months in advance too because of that.
And everything within a 10-mile radius of the city is all booked up too.
Yeah,
it's crazy how many. Half a million people go to that race. So you see.
My family lives in Fishers, but still, it's like even up there, it's my god, it was slim pickings and
everything's
expensive.
all picked over. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. But we're looking forward to it. It'll be fun. We haven't seen some of these people in over 2 years, so or almost 2 years.
You'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?" They'll be like, "Shut up! We're watching a car go in a circle."
Some of my family aren't going to go, so we have to plan around that.
Yeah.
So.
Right on. All right, man.
So, Eric, when you upgrade your Xbox, are you going to go with a 3090 card or a 4090?
It's going to go with a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I've never put time into building a computer, but I know I get that reference, as Captain America would say. I know. At one time, I was PC. I'm a tray array.
Is that something you're capable of? Could you piece together a gaming PC?
After watching hours of YouTube videos, maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how I've done anything that I've ever accomplished the last 10 years has been through YouTube tutorials. How I fix my dryer and washing machine and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Right. No, you did do that recently. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, cross your fingers, things last, And then, hesitant to upgrade to things with microchips in them because then I can't work on them anymore. If everything has mechanical functioning parts, then you can just swap those out and it's pretty easy. You don't have to program anything. No microchips for me.
Yeah, there's YouTube videos on how to build your own microchips.
Oh, yeah. I need to become a rocket engineer and then it's easy peasy.
I'm surprised. Is there a PC build simulator game? I'm sure there is.
Oh, yes, Lord. There is. Yep. Yeah, I've actually seen, I believe, Shalene stream it before. PC building simulator. Someone did for a long marathon stream at one point. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Hopefully, she played it on Xbox.
The irony would be amazing, but I can't imagine it's available on Xbox. And yes, she agrees. PC building sim is a good time. Nice.
I figured Vendertron probably tried it if it existed.
Oh, Vendertron.
Pigcorn?
So cute. All right. Thank you, Eric. Ray, how about you? Have you gotten to play any video games this week, sir?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a slow week, but I've been horsing around with trying to come up with a No Man's Sky challenge quest. And still haven't been able to find anything that's unique enough to worry about. But having fun playing in No Man's Sky. I've been working on my Cyberpunk build. So just leveling that character up.
For your challenge quest, are you meaning for your listeners of the BBC ISSS show?
Well, we talked about it a little bit on the show that I just posted today.
I haven't listened today.
But,
gosh, I think I'm 2 behind now. You posted one today.
Yep.
Have they announced when the Idris Elba DLC for Cyberpunk is coming out yet?
I don't know that I've seen a date yet. It's still just a lot of, it's coming soon. Soon.
That's another reason why I really want to upgrade my Xbox, because I don't think that's going to be on the one generation that I know of.
Yeah, probably not. It they're doing everything on the newest versions.
Will the old, not the most recent version of Skyrim load on your Xbox, Eric? Or is that
the Anniversary Edition? Yeah, I've got that.
Will that load on your Xbox?
Oh yeah,
because it won't load on the One X, but on the S it will. God,
seriously?
So weird.
Oh yeah, I bought that as soon as it came out.
Maybe I'm saying the wrong edition. I don't know. The special edition. I don't remember.
Yeah, the anniversary edition is the latest, I believe.
No, the second,
Yeah.
the second most recent one.
Yes, he has an edition. He has an issue. We don't need to get all into it, but with
No,
his
we
disc
covered it, yeah.
working in the newest Xbox with the SE without upgrading to AE with the
I
disc
remember that.
specifically.
Yeah, that's so weird. Yeah, you're talking about what, the legendary edition, or is it
I don't remember. Special edition.
Yeah, special
something.
edition.
special edition? Yeah, that's super weird.
I was miffed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and we're crafting a new Skyrim roundtable for the show. So
Beautiful.
working on that. It's going to be. So I've played a lot lately with Winter Sun, the Anai Scion worship mod, and so now Victor and Victor's going to be playing with Winter Sun, and I'm going to be playing with Gods and Worship, which is a new mod that he was playing with before. So we've swapped those out, and Michael's going to stay with Winter Sun. So we've each chosen our deity, and now we're trying to build characters around it.
Very fun. Check out a Skyrim Addict podcast to listen to Ray and the guys. And the new roundtable coming up.
I think somebody was saying they wanted to do the Periite quest or something. I was like,
Yeah,
how
that's
much is
Victor.
there to that?
Yeah,
I love
I played.
Periite's quest, but
Yeah, I played around with trying to, it. So the Perrier part's easy, because that's just a quest you go do.
I always make sure I can
is
do
that
that one for Spellbreaker.
Spellbreaker, the
Such
shield.
a wonderful shield. Yeah.
Yeah. But the trick is trying to figure out how to build a character that you can, use the perks that you get from worshipping Periite.
So you're sick all the time.
Yeah. Because you gain favor by collecting diseases
My
and then not curing them.
goodness, that's kind of like a junkies build, except with no actual benefit.
Yeah.
What are you
No.
getting for? How is Perrier blessing you?
So you do get buffs,
Gesundheit.
from having more. So yeah, it's a lot like a junkie build.
Does it let you spew that green liquid?
Yeah.
Oh,
Gross.
that's
That is
awesome.
awesome.
Oh, no pea soup, no exorcist move. That does not sound like a good time. But it's funny. I'm trying to remember Perrier. I
He's
not
the
to go too
dragon
far
looking
down.
one. He's like
but
the little dragon.
The quest, do you have to go? Is it like a rural area in kind of the northwest? Like there's a weird shrine on a mountain somewhere?
It's the one.
Talk to that
it's like,
Khajiit.
there's that cauldron that you have to put ingredients in. Like there's, I'm blanking on what the ingredients are. There's a flawless. Is it garnet, or is it Ray? You probably know this.
I haven't done it in a while, so I can't remember.
That's why they do it around table.
Yeah.
But I've done it so many times. There's a few things that are a little more difficult to find, and that's what lets you speak to Periite. I believe is voiced by Craig Seckler. But yeah, and then you go clear out all those diseased people.
Excellent. So that's your Skyrim roundtable. I look forward to hearing some of that. What else you got going on, Ray?
Then other than that, it's just been Fallout 4.
Nice. So let's get into the Fallout 4 gameplay. What you been up to?
I feel like a major underachiever. So I'm only level 20.
Oh, how dare you?
I'm only 19. We are not underachievers. We're kind of on track. It's
I think
just
I'm right around there. Yeah.
some people are playing a lot, and other people are, reloading a lot.
Yeah, it's not I'm playing a lot. I'm playing the same amount as you guys. It's just that I'm spamming that idiot savant thing. It's like if I turn in a quest and it doesn't perk, I make sure to save right before I turn in everything so I can just reload and reload and reload till it hurts.
I think he's playing a little more too, though. Maybe a little more. But yeah, so you're level 20, right? Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, so I'm not sure what I did to Codsworth,
How dare you?
but so I wanted to make him mayor of Nordhagen Beach, but
That's my
when
job.
I sent him there, so I took him on as a follower and then sent him to Nordhagen Beach. And then I went to Nordhagen Beach and he wasn't there. So I had done other things in between. So he had plenty of time to get there. So I have no idea what happened. So I made the wife at Nordhagen Beach the mayor, and I made the dad the provisioner. And so everything's been going great at Nordhagen Beach. It's all built up now, beachfront condos, the whole 9 yards.
Is it just the two of them?
No, it's a hopping community now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Do you have to build the beacon, or does Sim Settlements 2 recruit on its own?
Yeah, so they take care of it.
They do all for
Oh, wow. Okay, that's amazing. Do they keep you from getting overpopulated, or do you have to do the population computer thing?
No, I do nothing. I supply them with goods. I connect the different settlements together, and the mayor does all the work.
So basically, you lead the Minutemen while doing nothing. You're kind of like Preston in that way now. You have the same job he does.
Well, thankfully, there's no mention of Minutemen in anywhere in this. Because I haven't started that quest. When you go talk to the settlers in those settlements, they just say, "Hey, we need help," and you say, "I'll help." And you go do their little quest and come back and say it's all taken care of. And they're like, "Oh, awesome. Thanks." And you can use our workshop if you want to.
Nice.
And I say, "Well, yes, I will. I'm going to make a little city planning desk and then leave you forever."
Is it scripted where whoever you assign to mayor make sure to get the protection to be the food plus water and enough beds, and it's all, you don't have to worry about anything after you set it up?
I just let them handle it, and they manage it all perfectly fine.
And you don't ever get the little triangle with the exclamation point saying, "Oh, there's not enough this or that or the other there."
Oh yeah, no, I do.
Oh, you do, and you just ignore it.
Yeah, but not my problem. Not the mayor.
I'm not the mayor, guys. Awesome.
I'm just using them, for the caravan. So,
Who is your assigned faction this time?
Railroad.
Okay, so I remember you got Minutemen last time. And
Yeah.
that had to have been torture for you.
Well, so there are some really nice mods that help make the Minutemen much more bearable.
Okay.
I didn't load them this time because I knew good and well that Preston was never leaving the museum.
Right.
So, but yeah, things have been going swimmingly at the railroad. Well, they go swimmingly everywhere. That's my sole mode of travel at this point.
I just took Aqua Girl level
Nice.
1 in my last play session. So yeah, I'm now starting to see the benefits of that.
Swimming classes in every settlement, it sounds like.
And so I've been concentrating on all of the settlements close to water. And, so now, aside from Abernathy Farms, where that's my assigned settlement in the Commonwealth, everything else is close to the water. And I was worried about the Kingsport Lighthouse because of how quickly I am destroyed by any ranged opponent. And so I was swimming by and saw the lighthouse, and I go, oh, I wonder if I can snipe, people from these rocks here just off the shore. And so I got on the rocks, and sure enough, I could see the guy in the boathouse. So I took him out. The guard patrolling the docks, I took her out. And then I was able to get on shore and get up inside the lighthouse.
Nice.
And so I've got a ripper, and that's my main weapon because I've got strength 9. And so as long as I can sneak up and hit somebody before they can react, they just disintegrate. I think the Ripper's doing like 193 damage.
Damn, nice.
Oh, wow.
In a very fast weapon. So I mean, I came up behind a death claw and essentially sawed him in half before they could even turn around.
Do you have?
I mean, this thing just melts through.
What combination of perks do you think is responsible for that?
I was going to say, do you have Blitz 2 and Rooted and all that? Or?
Well, I can't get Blitz because I don't have a high enough agility.
Oh, no.
So I do have Rooted, which helps. And also big leagues.
What is your
Right.
agility? Can you get Ninja at least or anything?
I'm working towards Ninja. That's one of my assigned perks.
Yeah, level 20. I mean, that makes sense. You don't have everything yet. And you had
Yeah.
a pretty unfair fairness factor.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. So I'm working my way towards Ninja. I'm pretty close to getting there.
Well, that's ridiculous because if you're already melting through Death Claws, Ninja gives you what, like times 10?
But that's just sneak attacks.
Well, you said you were sneaking up on everything, right?
Well, I try to, but sometimes you just have to run for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't sneak up on them, you just sprint as fast as you can towards them and hit them.
Don't
That's
look at me.
what I
Don't
do
look
with
at me.
my
Don't look at
katana
me.
most
Bam.
of the time.
But so I was able to get up inside the lighthouse and then set mines on the platforms on the way up.
Okay.
And
smart.
then sat up on the railing of the lighthouse and was able to snipe the children at the down around the base. The first time they came up, and they started to come up, but then they got hit with the mines and went back down.
Disclaimer, Ray's talking about the children of Adam. He's not actually killing children.
Kids,
I
no.
was wondering.
I don't have that mod. Sorry. But so even though it took like 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 shots to finally pick each one of them off, their weapons weren't reaching me. So they would shoot at me, but they weren't hitting me with any radiation.
Yeah, they expand too much and they die out before they get up there, right?
Yeah. So I was able to clean out, that lighthouse area, then went around and picked up all the mines. I was up on top and of the lighthouse and was looking out, and down on the road, I saw a pack Brahmin. And so I vatsed it, and the pack Brahmin's name was Idiot.
What?
And as soon as I saw that its name was Idiot, it walked into one of the nuke mines
Boom.
that the children of Adam
name worked.
place on the road.
Oh, no.
And so I thought, oh man, I wish I had recorded that.
How is it named?
Yeah,
What-
I don't know where the name came from.
What
so.
named it? Wow.
But so now I've got that. So I did have to take Sunshine Tidings for the railroad, for Mercer Safe House. So I thought, well, what the heck? I rescued Ada so I can build the robot machine. So in that big barn, I built a robot machine, and now
Hey, me too.
all of the settlers in Sunshine Tidings co-ops are robots.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
The only human being is Concierge, who's the guy that comes along with the Mercer Safe House. But he just wanders around out at the fringe of the settlement.
And he's
but the robots are doing all the work.
Right? And he's a synth, right? So he's really a robot.
Well, okay, yeah, that works.
Ish, yeah, I can see that. But that's kind of a neat way to do it, to have an entire settlement with robots, just like Grey Garden.
Yeah. So I finally made it back to Sanctuary to see if Codsworth was there, and sure enough, he's standing there in his normal spot. And so I went over to him, and then I tried to move him to send him to Sunshine Tidings.
He's supposed to be in Nordhagen. Why was he back at Sanctuary?
I have no idea. And he wouldn't move.
I wonder if that's the one that would always get trapped on one of the roofs in Sanctuary for me.
Yeah. No, he's in the spot that you find him when you come out of the vault.
Now, do you think it has something to do with the whole way with survival, that if they go down and you leave the area and they go completely down, they'll go back to the original spawn point? Do you think perhaps as mayor or something was triggered that made that routine happen?
Well, so I never made him mayor because he never went to Nordhagen.
Okay, he wouldn't actually do that, right?
Yeah.
Can you get into his conversation loop?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, you can, hey, follow me. Okay, great. And then I sent him to Nordhagen, and he never went. And so then I tried to move him through the settlement command, and that didn't work either.
Okay, so it's almost like maybe the game doesn't even know he's there anymore, because he's supposed to be stuck on his way trying to go to Nordhagen, but he's not actually, something like that.
I don't know. So anyway, he's missing out.
You should try to
kill him. Hanging out with all of his robot buddies.
You should try to kill him and see if he wakes up at Nordhagen. You know what I mean? Like the scripting or whatever is bugged.
Yeah. So I did take advantage of the Curie mod and figured out how to, find the terminal that you need to access to open the door that lets you in directly to the room where she's at. I picked her up and then made the really big mistake of not making any robot repair kits.
Oh.
And we went to Vault 28.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So Vault 28 is one of the 5 quest mods that I mentioned that we could be trying. And I'm in the middle of it too, so we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, Vault 28 is a little harder than maybe expected.
And so she went down, and I didn't have a robot repair kit to fix her up. So she got mad and left. And, the screen said, that she went back to Vault 81. So after I finished up in Vault 28, I went back to 81. I can't find her anywhere.
She's not in her little room? She's not anywhere you can find?
Room. She's not, roaming around, in the atrium. She's not in the overseer's office, in the school room, in the reactor room. I went through every one of the residential rooms, and I cannot find her. So
she's
so weird.
She's down doing drugs with Billy or whatever his name is. Not Billy. That other kid.
Yeah. So she did give me the cure. So when Billy does...
is it Billy? Are there 2 Billies in the game?
No, it's
Billy's
Austin.
The one in the fridge,
Austin
right?
is the kid.
Austin, that's right. When Austin gets bit by the mole rats, I'll be able to fix him up. But that's if I ever go back to Vault 81.
But she's AWOL.
Yeah, not my problem.
And what was your established?
She's supposed to be my
Abernathy
romance.
Farm? She wouldn't go to Abernathy Farm just because that's your established
No,
settlement or anything.
It said she went to Vault 81.
You got all
on
sorts
the
of weird
screen.
scripting going on with your companions there.
I promise I don't have a rid your life of all companions mod.
Yeah, right. He's got his fingers crossed behind his back.
That is interesting. You have to wonder if they'll pop up later. If it is just something different about the way the survival script handles it. Now, had you ever dismissed Curie since you'd picked her up to another location, or no?
No. Mm-mm.
Nope. So she would only go back to Vault 81 when she went back.
Yeah,
then.
we went straight from Vault 81 to Vault 28.
Wow. So you just got her, and this happened.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
weird.
that's so
I mean,
And
and
I was worried that I wasn't going to see her anyway because I swam.
yeah.
She doesn't swim so well.
She doesn't swim, and she does. I mean,
Her
I got to
th-
think she could
thruster doesn't work
probably,
on the water.
put out enough thrust to
Hover a
propel
little bit
herself
with
over
the water.
the water. But no, but she did finally show up just about the time I got into Vault 28.
So
Well, that's good. And just in time to leave again.
Yeah, just in time to die.
I finally stumbled across the Raider prom location and that other giant, island house mod too. But where's 28 located? I haven't stumbled across Vault 28 yet. What section of the map is that on?
That's just around the bend.
Right across from
From-
Oberlin, right above the wastewater treatment plant there.
Yeah,
Oh,
right by
is
the
it?
wastewater treatment plant.
Oh, is it that house?
The
Yeah.
Frederickson place is where it starts. Yep.
Okay. I have stumbled across. I just didn't know that was the beginning of it. All right.
I don't think I've encountered any of this stuff yet. So then again, I haven't particularly been looking for it. So.
Right.
I
I mean,
haven't
yeah,
yet
that's,
either.
as we progress, we'll probably come across more. And some people have seen a bunch of them already. A couple of people have even played some of it, like we heard last week with Green Dragon doing Radium. But do you want to talk about your experience in Vault 28? What did you think of the mod? Like, the ones we chose had been featured mods at least once by Bethesda, but nothing too big or fancy. So this one was a little bigger than I expected.
So that we know they're supported and semi-stable at least, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I had done it before
Okay.
because it was part of that big mod package, and I just kind of stumbled on it. And it's a really well done mod. It's there's not a ton to it. It really sucks on survival. Mostly because you can't carry all the great junk that you find in there.
There is a lot of good stuff, and I am already having to sort and drop. Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
need to get that weightless junk item mod. That
Oh,
I've got
empty-handed.
going.
Well,
There's probably at least 10 or 12 locked doors on every level.
Oh, good
yeah.
lord.
When he says great junk, he doesn't necessarily mean junk. He means stuff. He means fat loot.
Like, yeah, okay.
And I came out about 20 bobby pins ahead.
Wow. I haven't found
Because
anywhere near that much yet. That's impressive.
there's-
I didn't notice that much.
Yeah, all the lavatories have like 6 or 7 sinks with mirrors,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
almost all of
mirrors,
them
yeah.
have at least 2 or 3 bobby pins in them.
I'd found stuff with a couple and found a few bobby pin boxes and stuff so far. Yeah. So when you get in, you meet Chris, and he sends you. You get a whole story about him and his he puts it in quotes, kind of husband, because it sounds like maybe they were separated a bit after all these years. Sounds like they were also a ghoul, kind of disappeared down in the basement. Now, did you get why playing the mod, why he never went after him himself? Was it just because he was scared of the mole rats and everything, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it might have just been because he was pissed.
Yeah, he was pissed, but it was like years ago. Like it was like a couple decades ago now.
Drop a grudge.
Out of
dude.
sight, out of mind.
I guess so. It was interesting.
I am kind of curious. Like, I do want to see what the story of this mod is, like what the experiment was for Vault 28.
Yeah, that's why we're talking through it, you know. So
I mean, all the ghouls have hair too, which I was kind of surprised by.
Well, not
oh
all
wait,
of them.
you've been in there? I didn't
No,
know
I
you
was
got in there
watching
already.
you.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Oops.
Yeah, I watched like what is it, the first floor with you.
Yep.
From
Yeah.
you, Dad. I learned it by watching you.
Yeah. So unfortunately, even though the ghouls that you meet aren't feral, you know, when you get in the place, they're hostile.
Very unfriendly. Yep.
And so, you know, you've got to go through and then you come across a non-ghoul.
Mm-hmm. Which I had
And-
just met at the end of my stream, Annabelle, right?
Okay, yeah. And so so she sends you on a quest. She's an interesting character. You know, she sends you on a quest to find a circuit board that she built when she was a kid. But it pretty much just sends you on a path through the vault. And it's a little bit of a Zach story.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I mean, you're learning a lot from the terminals, and I don't know if we want to talk how much you want to talk through it or not. But I think we can. I don't think it'll be bad to spoil it for people. Like they can discover the specifics, right? So we can tell them that the school got in there, and somehow via experimentation, the overseer turned everybody else in the vault into ghouls via injection. Which I'm thinking, and I haven't gotten to the end yet. They got from the other ghoul, like somehow experimenting on him or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they made a serum and turned everybody into ghouls. So the ghouls on the second floor are all feral,
Very mean. And the glowing ones are super tough.
super tough.
Oh, God.
Unless you've got a nasty ripper
Yeah, I can't believe you're doing all that damage. Oh my goodness.
and know they're coming. You know, so
Mhm.
fortunately, since I had played it, you know, in normal mode, I kind of knew, you know, where they were and where to expect them, and was able to manage pretty well. Actually, I did better in survival than I did on normal.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because you were prepared. You knew to go
because,
slow
yeah.
and not be
Yeah.
overconfident.
And then, so yeah, the trickiest thing is, you know, getting the passwords to the computers so you can unlock the elevators and go that way. So you get down to the bottom, you find his ghoul husband, and once everybody's dead, you get a note, and you have to look a little bit to be able to find the circuit board,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not in the same place. And there is a vendor down there.
Really? On the third floor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you go in there into the commissary, and there's a robot vendor.
With some special items, some good stuff?
No, just mostly just
The
regular
usual.
stuff.
I'm not sure how I'm going to get out. Like, that's what I'm a little bit currently concerned about, how I'm going to get out of there. Now, I'm just finishing the second floor myself, so I think I've killed all the ghouls on the second floor, but I haven't been into all the individual rooms, so there are probably a few more in there. I've done the full big loop around in most of the outer rooms. So I'm going to keep going, but it's neat, and I mean, they're tough, but they're not that tough. Green Dragon says a plasma-infused shotgun did a good job taking care of them, too, which,
Yeah.
there you go.
I
Yep.
definitely want to check these out at some point. That one, Raider Prom, definitely need to.
Yeah. So I went back out the way I came in.
Okay, you worked your way back out the way you came in.
Yeah.
Jess said you
And
could.
are you able to?
Because I had to give Annabelle the serum.
Okay. Oh, there's a serum. I know there's a circuit
Oh,
board.
no,
There's
not
a serum
the
too.
circuit board. That's
Okay.
right.
I was going to say,
And-
make her a ghoul.
Yeah.
From there, can you just can you hop out the hole? Like, can you like jump up and climb up that ladder? Is that possible? Or
Is that what I did?
I just have to discover it myself when I get there? But
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what I did, but there was a whole lot of, feeling like Andrew.
Mhm.
Because it's really, really dark and the tunnels all look exactly the same.
it is really
And
dark.
You go around in circles forever.
When I first got in there, I didn't even know. Ended up in a loop, and I'm like, how did this even happen? Because yeah, the tunnels were very confusing.
I'm feeling
then I made it in.
insulted here, you guys.
Maybe he meant like Andrew, like leveling up so fast and doing excellent.
No, I think he means,
Getting lost at the drop
No
of a hat.
direction sense.
seeing
Yes.
where the fuck am I? What's going on? Why do I have no idea where I am? I think that's more of what he was implying there.
Well, you don't typically do the mods that make everything super dark, do you? Because maybe that's coming into play also.
No, that's
Yeah,
a Ray
because it
thing.
is. I mean, without your Pip-Boy light on, you can't even see anything.
It's really dark. Yeah, with my Pip-Boy flashlight on, that's basically all I see is that little cone of light.
Yeah.
And then that gives you away, so you can't sneak very well.
Yeah, luckily
Yeah.
in that area, it's almost all mole rats. These are in the caves we're talking.
Yeah, and when you're in the overseer's office, make sure you get the key to the armory,
Will do. Okay.
because there is all the ammo you could ever want and an absolute crap
Ooh.
ton of fusion cores.
I need
Andrew
to
is
know.
suddenly
what-
really
yeah,
interested.
My ears are
Yeah.
perked now.
he
There's
was,
there's a bunch of weapons too, but there wasn't anything spectacular.
And
you have
green dragons
basically
are-
made this a devil's advocate kind of situation where he's probably got like two devils perched on his shoulders. Like Andrew really doesn't want to go there now, and then he really wants that ammo.
I need that ammo, but I got to spend the ammo to get to the ammo. Fuck.
Well, yeah, it's like 30 plus fusion cores from what Green Dragon was saying. Like, how much would all that shit weigh? And
At
then
4 pounds a piece,
survival-
120 pounds.
they're four-
Yeah,
that's
like
more
your
than my
entire-
carry weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped a lot of potentially good stuff just so that I could carry one more.
Well,
plus I ate some rad stag.
I know you
Yep.
were playing in power. Are you still doing power armor all the time?
No, I didn't have power armor on that
No.
run. I also have a mod that loads in a undersea vault. I think it's vault
Ooh,
120 maybe.
Oh, neat. Okay.
And I just stumbled across it today when I was leaving Nordhagen Beach to swim up to the lighthouse. It's right on the same little isthmus as Nordhagen Beach if you go
Ooh.
towards Libertalia, and it's just this little cement bunker with an elevator that takes you down, and it is 100%. Oh shoot, what's the game? BioShock? No, is that the undersea one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bioshock 1 and 2, I think, are
Yeah.
underwater. And
I mean, it looks exactly like that. The panoramic, windows into the, so where you can see all the neon lights and everything in the underwater vault area, submarines, all kinds of fun stuff. But I died. Fortunately, I had just slept at Nordhagen Beach. And so I was like, okay, maybe later. And because I went into this one small room and there were 3 glowing ones.
Oh Lord.
They really they're liking to load these vaults up with ghouls. I
Yeah.
guess that's the enemy du jour in custom
There's
vaults.
a bottle cap mine when you need it.
So what else did I do? So I did manage to get ballistic weave.
Oh, nice.
And thankfully, it's always such a roll of the dice. So I had already had to do the ruined skyscraper quest, which was brutal. Trying to get through that thing. Those gunners were just tearing me up. But I got through that one, and then I had to go do the second one because that didn't give me ballistic weave. And I was like, I know I'm going to get Medford.
No.
But thankfully I got Hub 360, which has 0 combat.
Woohoo.
And so I went up and got that DIA cache and came back and talked to Tinker Tom, and he was like, "Oh, dude, you know what you found?" And so now I've got ballistic weave.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've done any of that. You were saying that usually the most efficient route is just to keep going back to Pam, right?
Yeah.
And she sends you out with those.
The DIA cache.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, you have to do Mercer Safe House. So first off, you have to do the quest with Old Man Stockton. Then Pam will give you the Mercer Safe House quest. You do that one. Then when you start going back, you can talk to her and get the DIA quests.
Is Old Man Stockton the dead bodies north of Covenant there on the road?
No. He's the guy in Bunker Hill.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
And so thankfully I got Hub 360. That went really smooth, and I got my ballistic weave. I knew I was going to have to go to Medford, which I don't know if I would have been able to get through. But
can you apply ballistic weave to my army boot and green shirt thing, and then put armor on top of it? Like, does that all work?
Yeah, that's why I recommended you get that one.
Yeah, I should maybe. I haven't even done.
You can swing by Nordhagen Beach. I'll throw it on for you.
Oh, thanks, man. That's great.
Yeah,
it's so helpful, Ray. Getting into any other adventures in Fallout 4 there, Ray?
I think I did, but nothing I can really remember.
Level up your scoreboard yet?
Oh, I got no. I'm still 500 points below level 1.
-1.
I got the Egret tours.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've got
most of the waterfront properties.
A little swimway up that direction.
Waterfront Empire. Who's going to be the mayor there?
So the mayor there is a random settler that I poached from Hangman's Alley.
Nice. So, hope he'll do a good job.
Yeah.
How'd you get a settler at Hangman's Alley? Oh, from your mod. Okay.
Well, no. So I haven't. Hangman's Alley is just for me.
This is mine. It's for me.
And so I flipped on a beacon there and got a few settlers and farmed them out to other places to become provisioners. And
smart.
So
is that your hub, central in town and everything?
Well, Hangman's Alley is kind of my home base.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so central to everything.
Yeah.
Close access to all the waterways, and it's been a good place to swim from.
Mm-hmm.
Plus you've got an easy walk over to Diamond City.
Yep, just up the block there.
Yep.
I was walking past that turret just earlier tonight, and I was thinking, okay, the super mutants pop up across the street sometimes, and the turret takes them down. But yet lets me walk right on by. Like, how do the turrets determine who's a bad guy and who's a good guy? Because
they're programmed.
In some areas, you can like get on the computer and tippity tap and tell them to stop or attack or whatever.
Mhm.
But how does it just not kill everyone it doesn't recognize or whatever? I don't know. I know you say they're programmed, but they don't know me. To not kill all humans, I guess. All right, Ray. Thank you for your awesome Fallout 4 gameplay there. Jess, have you gotten any Commonwealth Wasteland adventures under your belt this week?
I sure have, yeah. So I got some decent gameplay in. For Fallout 4 specifically, I probably got the most in detail since, it's part of the roundtable this week. I did save a lot of it for stream as planned. I was thinking about, I had talked earlier about how I was hoping this week we would stream on our own channel a little bit. We all want to do that. I'd kind of planned on maybe hopping in Monday night, but work situations kind of kept that from happening.
Oh, yeah. You had sort of a blow up this week.
Yeah,
Sorry
a bit of a tech crisis at work, which kind of threw off my schedule for a couple days, but got that all sorted. So I got on Wednesday night for stream, which yes, thanks again to Leo for being there. He was there pretty much the whole time hanging out.
That was fun.
And so I was just outside Corvega. So we loaded in to do Corvega. And, there are a couple ways you can approach it. You can go in from the outside, take clear the roof and that area, go in the front door. You can go in through the pipe. Now, I had gotten the storage key already. And of course, we've done it enough that we knew about the pipe. And it really is the easier way in survival. So I was scared.
Pipe is life.
So I took the easier way with going in the pipe. And that worked fine. Actually, Corvega was not as tough as I expected. So I was at about level 16 starting that on Wednesday. And went through. As you work your way through, like there's a couple of ghouls fighting the turrets, but as you go through, there's just there's turrets and raiders. And I found as long as I went slow and snuck at this point, my character with her, she's got gunslinger perk. She's got she doesn't have anything special for sneak, but it's decent. And with the modded guns, the resilient 10mm and the 44. She's pretty good at popping heads and vats and stuff. So yeah,
you were one-shotting a lot of them. That was insane.
Yeah, with the 44, I can one-shot them on the head, and with the 10mm, it usually takes at least 3 shots. Unless I hit them just right, like if I'm not in vats. But it wasn't bad.
Remind me what the resilient legendary effect is.
I'm trying to remember resilient. That's what my gun is. It's not. I'm actually forgetting. I'm so sorry. I have to look it up. Yeah, I feel like it's not instigating, but it might be like that, as it maybe takes less AP. I'll look it up. But anyway, getting in there and shooting through, and I got a little turned around like you always do in Corvega. Although, to be fair, we've done it enough times now, and I feel like you said this last time you were in there, Andrew, that even though a lot of things that seem confusing the first couple times you do it, repetition does make a difference, and you start to know things better than you realize you do.
Yeah.
So I didn't get too lost at all. Made it up there, made my way up, and I did the trick when in the big room with Jared and everyone up there. I did the trick where you go to the Protectron. I switched the Protectron to a construction Protectron because I feel like that nail gun does better against turrets and raider weapons. So I activated that and snuck and let the Collectron do most of the work. He actually managed to take out a turret, which caused an explosion, which caused a car to explode that was on the line there, which killed Jared. So I got the little pop-up.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I got the little pop-up saying, kill the raiders at Corvega complete. You can return to Oberlin Station. And I'd only killed the ones inside. Hadn't done the ones outside yet. Hadn't even gotten all in that room. So once the Collectron went down, I did finish it off. I got the Grognak magazine in there and got in the chest and got all the fat loot and went through and cleaned out Corvega, but it was easier than expected. So I will say, if anyone putting it off because they're like, oh, Corvega and survival is going to be too hard, as long as you're slow and deliberate and maybe take the pipes instead of starting from outside, it's not that bad. But of course,
quite a few times on the outside, but not the inside. Inside's really not that bad.
Because there are choke points, and you never really have more than 2 or 3 on you at once, And when they're at a distance, you can find a wall to hide behind. So, even when it's 3 coming at you, when you're hiding, it's not going to be 3 actually able to shoot you. So that's not too bad. But of course, I was feeling brave after all that, so I decided to go outside, and I'm like, I'm going to take the ones outside now. Also, someone in chat, it might have been you, Silly, or might have been someone else, says, Ray would be disappointed if you didn't get that bobblehead.
That was me. Yep.
Well, we didn't want to disappoint Ray. So, so went out there and oh my gosh. So in the Natural Atmospheric Commonwealth, some of the weathers in there are really intense. Like I said, I've left almost all the intense ones on. So it was doing what's called an ultra rad storm.
Oh no.
Which is essentially a thunder, heavy rain rad storm and taking a decent amount of rad damage. So I'm getting 2 rads per second coming at me while I'm out there fighting these raiders and just the occasional boom. And it was one of the most intense fights. It was really, really fun because going out the front door, I didn't get a whole bunch of them on me at once because I was able to do the ones right there and then sneak around the side of the building and then kind of work going up. At one point, I had maybe 5 or 6 shooting at me, but yeah, it was just really fun. A mix of grenades, taking them out, some lucky shots, and having dog meat with me. Dog meat I have the skill, he is holding people down. So that is really helpful when he jumps in there and holds them to the ground a little bit.
It looks like resilient. Sorry, go ahead, Ray.
I was just going to say, so there is a rad storm that's even worse than that will give you 12 to 15 rads per second.
Oh, good Lord. That's worse than the glowing sea, man.
Yeah, it's, I mean, and there's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, there are some.
Unless you're indoors, inside a building.
I had turned off the red storm, the RED red storm that turns everything red. And then as we went on in the play, I ended up having a firestorm. And I decided to turn that off too because that was a bit much for stream. But yeah, so you said you looked up resilient?
Yeah, it looks like it's added by Far Harbor, and it's 150 damage resistance while reloading.
Then I don't think, no, then okay, that's what it is. Then it's not resilient. Resilient is the one that I got that I scrapped. It must be relentless.
There's
the one that you get action points.
It refills action points on a critical hit, or resolute is slows time momentarily as the last round is chambered.
It's not the slow time one. It's not the slow time one. So it must be relentless because it starts with an R. And yeah, I had gotten resilient was another drop I had, but I looked at that and I'm like, I don't really care about extra damage resistance while reloading. I'm just a 10 millimeter. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of bullets in there.
Yeah, you can swap those clips pretty quickly.
Exactly. It's not like a shotgun where you're, like a pump action or something where you're doing it one slug at a time. Like that kind of thing. The resilient really helps with.
There are a billion legendary effects. I had no idea there were so many. Holy cow.
Yeah, there are a lot. And it's funny because in Fallout 4, they are so useful. Like I mean, they're useful in 76 too, but we start to discount them because they're, a dime a dozen. Whereas it's a little more special when you get each legendary and maybe it's something you like or not in Fallout 4.
Well, in 76, they've got the secondary and tertiary legendary effects on top that sort of accentuate, you can fine tune and everything.
Yeah, that you would only have with some unique weapons. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's really helping. That's really helping with this gun too. And that it must be what it is. It refills my AP, which lets you stay in VATS longer. If you get a critical hit, then you can get a couple shots after. You're going to partially refill your critical meter. So it's working out. But yeah, that was just a really intense fight on top of Corvega. Really fun and a lot of popping heads, a lot of rads. I mean, that was the most touch and go spot I had in the first half of my playthrough. I had to take, taking your rad away, and then that's not effective enough. So you're taking rad X2, which of course makes you hungry and thirsty, and then you're eating the food and the drink, and so much.
It's impossible to keep up on your water and food when you're popping, the rad X, rad away, stim packs, It's really cuts down on your AP if you slam on all the meds. You got to be careful about that in survival.
You do.
Yeah, and then if you eat pre-ward food, then you get rads and eventually have to take more rad away.
Exactly.
Vicious
cycle. So I got up on top, not too much trouble, took everybody out. It was exciting. Found the bobblehead up there and remember what most of that was, and then went down and started heading back to 10 Pines. Very proud of myself. But then I realized for definitely not the last time that trip that I had no idea where dog meat was. So I had to go all the way back to Corvega. I start going in and up and around. It turns out he jumped off one of the catwalks. So they're catwalks, not dog walks. Dog meat does not belong up there. So don't bring dog meat with you. So he was there, hurt on the roof. Once I finally found him, I stimpacked him and came with me. But
wow, he stuck around that long? Goodness.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't gotten far enough away. So far, I haven't had any of my companions disappear and bip off back wherever on me. I haven't had that happen yet.
I feel like that happens almost instantaneously. They go down and oh, all right, I'm fucking off. Stick around for a minute. Let me finish the fight first, and then I'll come stimpack you, I promise.
Maybe dog meat's different. I don't know, because I mostly play with dog meat, of course, because I'm doing the Lone Wanderer. And he's gone down a number of times for various reasons. So like here, he fell off a catwalk, but I made it halfway through Lexington. Like I was down on the ground, back to the Red Rocket area almost, when I realized he wasn't with me. But anyway, I got him. We went back to 10 Pines, turned that in, adventures. 10 Pines is cool. They joined the Minutemen, went back to Preston, finally got the whole Preston talk where, Minutemen is my faction in the Commonwealth this time, and got the whole Preston talk about, wow, we can really do this. You brought people on, blah, blah. And of course he finished with, another settlement needs our help. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot it was like bam, bam, bam like that.
Hey, welcome to the... Oh, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Green Dragon says, thinks if you go a certain distance from them, they go away. And that's what I was thinking too. I thought it was a proximity thing. But considering you're saying it happens more quickly for you, it may not be. It may not be.
I don't know if it's timed or proximity. I'll have to pay closer attention to that to see.
So I went, made it back to Sanctuary, did all that, and then started heading south. So my idea from there, again, was, okay, what am I going to do next? I have to clear Corvega, become Minutemen. So now I'm going to either go to Oberland and do the quest for them with Back Bay Apparel to finally get them on my assigned settlement, or I'm going to end up getting to Vault 28. Obviously, I chose Vault 28, but I took the long way there. So I'm going south, and I ran into Carla. Funnily enough, okay, so I have a mod, so provisioners have an iBot instead of a Brahmin with them. It just makes it kind of a little bit tidier.
Yeah, that's cute.
Wandering. Yeah, I like that. But the merchants still have Brahmin. So she had a Brahmin, but she also had a couple of guards with her, which she doesn't normally. So I think one of my mods outfitted some of the merchants a little bit differently and gave Carla some guards.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, that was fun. Traded with her, managed to get rid of some of my loot. I already got Drumlin Diner. I did Drumlin Diner off stream where I did the where you're brokering the peace between Wolfgang and Trudy and all that.
So does Carla let her guards wear clothes?
Yes,
that's hilarious.
They were all wearing clothes.
I don't think I ever noticed that Carla didn't have.
She's the one that doesn't.
Her.
Yeah.
As far as I've ever seen, it's just her and her Brahmin, back up in Sanctuary and when you first meet her.
But the doctor guy, is it Weathers? Is that his name?
Yeah, Weathers, Cricket, Lucas, they all have guards.
Yeah, Ray mentioned one of them just won't put on pants. I'm just like, dude.
Yeah, Cricket's guards are always naked.
You look like a little sex slave or something running around in your harness with no pants on. Like he's just bossing you around and you're following in your underpants. Like, gee whiz. Have some dignity, sir.
That's hilarious. I did run into Cricket. Sitting at, she was outside Vault 81 the other day, and she was actually cooking on the stove out there. So I talked to her there and did some buying and selling, but I did not realize this until recently, but the voice actor for Cricket is actually Ashley Birch. I had no idea. Ashley Birch is the voice of Tiny Tina from Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
And what else does she do? She does something really, really famous. Suddenly forgetting.
Borderlands.
She's in Life is Strange. Aloy, exactly. Thank you. She does Aloy from Horizon. So, of course, one of the biggest characters out there in games right now. So, yeah, that's Ashley Birch, and she does Cricket, too, and I just thought that was so cool. Anyhow, I just decided I'm going to explore the whole west side of the map while I'm going down to Vault 28. So I went, cleaned out Wicked Shipping, decided I would get Sunshine Tidings just like you, Ray. I did not fill it with robots, but I did. I went, cleaned it out, got all set up, talked to Professor Goodfields. That was fun. We had a good conversation.
Groovy, man.
There's that bug with him where sometimes after you meet him, if you don't really do anything with him, he just kind of wanders off. Like, I would love to have him stay at the settlement, but he doesn't really stay once you start building in it, does he?
No.
I don't. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. I was hoping that he was going to stick around. Where does he go? Can you run into him later and like?
So there are two things. He either just kind of disappears, or if you hack the computer and use the routine that sends him for repair and maintenance, he will take and wander all the way back to the Robco.
You can follow him across the map. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
And there was one time where I almost made it. I got like within 2 or 3 blocks before he died, and we didn't finish the mission. But yeah, you can follow him all the way to Robco. Like, it's one of just those cool little things the game does. That's not really a quest. It's kind of unmarked, but if you make it happen, it'll work. So we did that. Got set up there, got a good night's sleep and saved. and started heading south again. So I lost dog meat like 3 or 4 times along the way here too. Like, I really, dog meat is my only companion, but I keep getting in trouble. Well, some funny things happened. Actually, I
Where's
don't know if I
dog
should-
meat? I can't see him anywhere. Where you guys see where dog meat is?
and you keep backtracking. You lose dog meat. You got to trace your path backwards, and it's just ridiculous. It's just, oh my gosh. I definitely need a "Where's Dog Meat" mod or a collar with a bell, something like that. So, long story short, more exciting things that happened. While I was going south, my friend Osiris popped in. He's been on the show before, and I have a perk, a little benefit on my channel where you can basically make me not do something for 5 minutes. And he said no guns. So I had to go south of there with just brass knuckles, and I ended up
That
trying to
was
fight
cruel.
Mirelurks. It was cruel. It was hilarious. So yeah, I could not beat the Mirelurks, and dog meat was lost again, so he couldn't help me. So I ended up just running in circles for like 5 minutes screaming. It was fun. Found dog meat, stimpacked him again, and we made it to the rocket shed. So I wanted to show people the rocket shed. Now you guys know that place, of course.
Where you launch off the tanks or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Yep.
awesome.
But a couple people hadn't seen it, so that was really fun to show them. And there was just all kinds of adventures. Got that. Anyone who doesn't know the rocket shed is kind of on the way to Fort Hagen. It's a little over halfway between Fort Hagen and Sunshine Tidings Co-op. You're there if you almost blow yourself up with some mines by an ARV, because the mines were bad. I mean, survival and adventure, let's be honest. Just wandering in the countryside in survival mode, knowing at any point you could die. You want to save in most beds. Yeah, everything that hurts you is going to do twice as much damage, and it's an adventure. But yeah, I wasn't killed by mines. Had fun at the rocket shed, stowed some friends, and then decided I would take on the Deathclaw below there in the river. Well, it was great because I was able to cheese him from a ledge. And I'm like, oh yeah. So, I mean, I heard the Deathclaw before I saw him, and I'm like, then I remembered he was there. So I'm cheesing him, and it's great. But I start to feel bad for the Deathclaw because it doesn't suit the dignity of a Deathclaw to be plink, plink, plinked in the butt from some girl up on a rocky ledge somewhere that you can't get to. He's getting all mad and thrashing. So I'm like, okay, he's down to like a quarter health left. I'm going to go make it a fair fight. It was not a fair fight. Let this be a warning, friends. If you are cheesing a Deathclaw, cheese him all the way. Okay,
Yeah.
do not say this is not right. Oh my goodness. So yeah, he impaled me, he murderated me hardcore, and it was ridiculous. So we redid it, and I had to save dog meat, of course, and because he decided to make like a rocket and jump off the ledge onto the cliff below. And yeah. But we went through, we got all the way in, and we made it down to Vault 28 here and there. I'll skip the rest of the adventures. It was good times. And that's when I found Frederickson House, talked to Christopher to start the quest for Vault 28. And things I thought were neat about it. The mod seems really well done. I like the voices. You have lines, but your character isn't voice acted. So the person you're talking to will have lines, and they'll go through with a voice, and then you'll respond, but there won't be a voice for your character. It just kind of has text, so you kind of wait and read. The mouths don't move. They didn't animate the mouths in the mod. Did they for you, Ray, on PC,
No.
or is that the same for you? Okay.
No, it's the same.
So the mouths don't move. It's kind of like talking in 76. But
Yeah,
you get the whole story.
It's really bad when you give when you talk to him the final time, because it's like a really long because you explain to him everything that happened in the vault,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's just quiet.
It can take a while, yeah, while
For
you're
a
reading at a
long
snail's
time.
pace.
And it's it won't I didn't try to click through because if in
I
regular
didn't try to skip
dialogue you
either.
can
I was
click
worried
through.
about that. Mhm.
But yeah, I didn't want to have to start over, and so I just waited it out, and it's really long.
My goodness, yeah, it was. So we went through that, and but it was I mean, I liked the voice, I liked the story. So you jump down the hole, you wind your way through a bunch of tunnels until you eventually, looking for this law school Edward Freeling. Eventually, you maybe find a vault door, or maybe you don't. Maybe you get turned around and repeat yourself 2 or 3 times first. But it's cool down there, aside from the fact you can't see anything. And then the vault itself, neat but difficult enemies. And yeah, the first floor is full of ghouls that are apparently not feral, but they are hostile, like Ray said. Second and probably third floor, full of ferals and much more hostile ghouls. There's a cool story. I do think I'm glad I picked the mod, but just here's my only word of warning summation. Once you start it, you're kind of locked in. Okay, you're probably gonna have to finish it. You can't like get partway in and be like, okay, now I'm backtracking. Like Ray said, he found a way out, so maybe there is one, but I don't know that there is, and I feel like you kind of have to finish it to leave. So just be warned ahead of time about that. And that's where I am in Fallout 4. I've hit level 19. I am a smidge below 20, and feeling tough. I've got my full build now, even my useless big leagues perk, which I'm not using melee, but at least I can.
Yeah, you'd mentioned how much that you had to look for dog meat. I completely forgot to mention that there was one point where I was exiting the Pridwin, and it looked like there was a rad storm going on. And I had this message pop up that I needed to heal my companion.
Mhm.
Okay, where are they? Apparently, both Hancock and Dogmeat had completely fallen off the Pridwin.
Why do they do
So,
this?
I don't
Why do
know.
they do this?
So,
Oh.
there's a miscellaneous quest that'll direct you to them. And, it was pointing toward one of the vertebrates. So I go down, couldn't find them anywhere, and went back up. I did this like 3 or 4 times before I finally found them, like by the water. Like they had both
Mhm.
fallen off the print.
I do wonder if maybe mine's a little different than you guys because of the mods I have installed. Like maybe one of my mods is keeping them from despawning like yours, because I do have, like the companion and dialogue enhancement mod. And maybe that one's doing something where they're not that, because I haven't gotten the pop-up message either that my companion needs healing in the upper left-hand corner that I can think of. So I don't know. I'll look into that. But I'm not going to complain that they haven't bipped off back to their home base after they've gone down. And it has only been dog meat so far. Kiri's never gone down, and she's my only other companion I've had. Beyond that, Fallout 76, I only did catfights and camps this week. That was fun. PC catfights were a great time. Camps were a great time. Just quickly summing there. We got to see some really funny ones on Thursday. A giant hot dog from a friend that he built, and a lot of wiener jokes, of course.
Mhm.
And Satellite of Love from MST3K that someone built.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was fun. It was floating. It had the exact shape, and you got to kind of get sucked up in and walk through. And yeah, it was really, really neat. And then we saw some great builds from another guy who did a really authentic immersive raider build and did Waffle House. And then Piece de Resistance, a Goonies build. I think you would have really appreciated this, Andrew.
Yeah.
It was kind of the
pirate
entire
ship or
movie.
what?
Yeah, so it went all the way through. So he used shelters, and the outside he built the restaurant where they start with the lighthouse and all that. And you go in there, and when you go down to the bathroom, and you get kind of directed, and you go the wrong way, and then you find the dead body and the freezer, and then the room with like Sloth in it, with Baby Ruth and all that. So you find all that, and then you end up going down a pipe, and you go through all the tunnels, and it was a huge, massive tunnels through 2 shelters. There's little things like there's the wishing well scene, and there's like another scene where they have conversations. He kind of rebuilt it all.
That's great.
And then finally, in the last shelter, you end up upon the big skeleton organ, and how cool that was. And after you sit and play that, you go through the door, and the pirate ship was in there. And he did this in the Forbidden Dig site, and he used like blue carpeting to make it look like water, and the scale was perfect. Like it was bigger than I would have imagined, and up against the rock walls in the back, it looked really good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a fun build, and it's been so long since I saw Goonies, but I do love that movie.
One of my saddest moments, and since Mo's been around, is that I keep trying to show him Goonies, and he does not give a fuck about
Goonies. Oh my gosh! I mean, he's the right age for it now too, or almost. Got to be soon.
It's like he loves Ghostbusters and Star Wars and stuff, but he just could not care less
Really?
about Goonies. I'm like, why
Does it
not?
just start? Does it start slower than we remember? Like maybe
It starts off with a fucking car chase and stuff, with the
That's not slow.
the people breaking out of jail, and it's
maybe Mama Fratelli scares him, and he won't want to
she's
tell
the
you.
best.
Oh God, she scared me as a kid for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Then the other big thing I played this week, and I'm just going to jump into your gameplay in just a second, Andrew, but I did do the Diablo 4 server slam, which
forgot to
Diablo
mention
4
that.
coming out. Yeah, they were doing, as you guys remember, they did big beta a month ago. Well, this past weekend was the Server Slam, where it's another open public beta. Anyone can join, but they were basically just how many people can log on, play, how it'll affect our servers. Well, I can tell you, the servers were fine. They played just fine. I did mine. So, I was basically after the show. Was it after the show? No, it was Saturday night. So it was after Gato stuff. I decided I was going to do this. So I started downloading. It was downloading really slow. So I jumped in and played Redfall for a couple hours. It finished downloading and installing at like 6 a.m. So I jumped in Diablo at 6 a.m. and I played till like 3 p.m. Like, I just had a small nap. I'm like, yeah, I just want to play this. So it was awesome. I made it to level 16 and then they ended the beta mid-afternoon, which is sad thing is you had to get to level 20 is where the cap was in order to get like a special prize, like saying, hey, I played in the beta, I made it to level 20. So I didn't get that. There's a small thing you get for just finishing the first part of the story, which I did get, but I didn't get the big prize. You played it too, right, Eric? And you made it most of the way?
Yeah, I got to about level 16. I went, I was facing the final boss of Act 1 and it completely kicked my ass.
Yeah.
So, that's about how far I got.
And I didn't get as far in the story, but I did explore a lot of the side content. I was doing separate dungeons on their own because one of the neat things about Diablo 4 is that it's partially online. So, it is actually kind of fully online, but you're still playing solo for the most part. Like, it's a shared world. You know what I mean? So kind of like that same feel that 76 has, but without parties and groups as much. And when you're running around, you're doing your own quests and adventures. You have your own story. But then there will be world events where there might just be an event in an area, kind of like... tea time we have in 76 where if you're nearby, people nearby can all show up and do it. And then sometimes there's world bosses like a Scorch Beast Queen, stuff like that. And those are the bigger deal. And people have to show up. You need more people to defeat those from what I can tell. So it's a neat mix of play by yourself and play around others. And it was really fun. So yeah, I'm definitely going to play Diablo 4 when it comes out in June.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was really the first one I ever played, and I quite enjoyed it. So
yeah, I was a big fan of Diablo 3. I hadn't touched Diablo 4 that really. I played a lot of other, kind of dungeon loot games like that. Path of Exile and Fate, which was made by some people who did the original Diablo, was a silly one back in the day. And I love like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, which are more D&D based, but kind of have the same feel. But it wasn't until Diablo 3 that I really got into it. So yeah, Diablo 4. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good from what I played so far. And it's really large.
Very
How about
cool.
you, Andrew?
Well, I haven't done a ton, lots of reloading and such, but what I have done, the bulk of my gameplay was in Vault 88. I finally made my way south of the prime meridian, the equator of the map there. It was really hilarious. If you looked at my map when it was open, it was really like, 80% of all the known locations on the northern half of the map were discovered and absolutely nothing south of town. So I finally got down towards Vault 88, and on the way I stumbled upon a big sort of metal barn and looked inside, and it's there's a trap door, or no, more like storm cellar doors, and then that popped up. Oh, you found the raider problem. Like, oh, sweet, I found that. And along the shoreline, I found the madhouse. What's it called? What's that mod? I don't remember what it.
Mad Rock, the one down near the Atom Cats.
Mad Rock, right? Yeah. So I swam past that, and that is an imposing, impressive feature along the shoreline there. Oh my lord, I hadn't seen that before. And it's just like gigantic and huge, and I was just like, okay, I'll definitely have to come back to that. There was a death claw sitting out back behind it when I swam by the first time, and bloat flies the second time. So there must be a random spawn point right there on the northern side of the shoreline there, because
unless those bloat flies took out the death claw.
Yeah, I don't know. could be. So I stumbled just on one trip on my way down to Vault 88. I stumbled across both that one and the Raider Prom, and I had already discovered along the river there the Vault 21-8 20 what
28 yeah
28 that you were just talking about. So there was 3 of them. Were there other mods? I'm just trying to see if I've discovered the locations for all of them yet. How many did we?
So there's the Radium Ink where you did find the flyer for that. Is
yes,
another one.
I've got the flyer, but I don't. Is there? I assume if you read the flyer, it'll pop up a location or something, or at least load.
Yes, that's what happens once you read the flyer.
An objective into your Pip-Boy, and so that's 4.
And then the last
5.
one. The last one was called the Kelly household, which is kind of, it's less of a quest and more of a location. It's right near the glowing sea, so you may not run into it. You may not just run into it.
I haven't been there yet. Okay. So I was just trying to keep track of what mod. So tomorrow night, Saturday night, for anyone listening live, or if you listen Saturday morning to the podcast, I am planning on doing a little bit of streaming of one of our mods that we have downloaded. I haven't quite decided which one to stumble into yet, but it sounds like Jess kind of streamed 28 a little bit, so maybe we'll do Raider Prom or the Madhouse one. We'll see. So I'm planning on doing a little bit of streaming on twitch.tv/ASA podcasting, and we'll see which one I get into. But the majority of my play was down at Vault 88. There's lots of quests to unlock there. I mean not quests, but
there's a lot to do.
That sort of quest line where you turn in each step that you do with Clem. It's marked as a different quest. So it was me building like the bike and then reloading until it Idiot Savant procced, and then building the soda machine and then reloading till Idiot Savant procced, and then
that can be a tough one early, and I can't believe you're doing that still. But that can be a tough one early. Like Vault 88 is a little bit difficult cleaning it all out after you meet the Overseer and have to go all the way through.
Well, I remember there's like a glowing legendary Deathclaw down there. I didn't ever find that. I remember there's a Mirelurk Queen down there. I didn't ever find that, but I haven't turned on that big water purifier. I think I have to turn that on to get the queen to spawn. Am I remembering that correctly?
You might be. It's been a long time since I did 88. I think that DLC I've only done once on my original main character that did everything. I haven't gone back there in subsequent playthroughs.
I really like it down there, but like Bill mentioned in the group a couple weeks ago, he's like, "Oh, I just stumbled into 88. I figured do a quick quest." I was like, "No, nothing quick quest about Vault 88. It's basically its whole own little game. I mean, it is a DLC, but you don't expect it to be as large as it is. It is its own."
It really is, and we didn't add it. This is our DLC Survival Roundtable. We didn't add it to the list because of the fact that it is kind of stationary, and do if you want. Yeah. But that's cool that you're able to.
I think that's my assigned settlement, actually.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Nice. No, but I've got that unlocked. Just earlier tonight, Clint was giving me a little bit of harassment about doing Diamond City, and that's just one of the homesteads, the settlements that I never ever unlocked just because it cost 2,000 caps or whatever. But I was like, whatever. So I went over there and talked to the secretary and purchased the Diamond City under the it's not under the bleachers, but over there the settlement there. Well, it's not a real settlement, but the room there. So I can use that as a fast travel point, even though Hangman's Alley is just up the street, like Ray mentioned. But I just figured it's good to have that because I'm running out of ammo so frequently that I'm finding it pretty useful to go back there. I've done it twice now, and I don't really know how many days it's been in between, but I don't think it was that many. And Arturo had re-upped his amount of ammo, so I bought him out. And then right next door, the surplus supplies, I forget her name, but she also had more 10mm ammo for me.
The one who doesn't want you to be a synth?
Yeah, exactly. That racist.
Crazy Myrna.
So I bought them out of ammo, and between the two of them, I can get like 150 rounds, something like that, and that'll last me, 7-8 minutes. And so it's just a constant struggle getting enough ammo. And Ray mentioned a couple weeks ago, you need to go get Scrounger. That'll solve all your problems. Well, it gives me tons of ammo, just not what I'm looking for. It's like if you want 45 and 308, sure, that's great. It loads you down. But at the same time, since it's survival mode, all the ammo has weight. So I'm like, ooh, I need to collect all this so I can trade it for more ammo. But by picking this up, I can't pick up as much, junk and stuff. So, like, it's all, that whole balancing act of, do I want to pick up this? If missiles pop up, I'm swatting those away like, the plague. Like, no, I'm not picking you up. You're like 9 pounds of damn piece or whatever. Get away from me. So yeah, I'm just still trying to figure out all the best ways to get lots of ammo all at once. And my main project today, when I was playing just a little bit, was just to try to collect as much ammo as I can. So when I stream tomorrow night, I don't have to, go re-up on ammo. Like I want to go into whatever I'm going to do with a couple hundred rounds at least. And it sounds like 28. I might need more than a couple hundred rounds.
Yeah, so. It's a lot. Now you're going to get some in there from what Ray is saying, but
yeah, at the end though,
I'm down to about 210 millimeter bullets, and I have about like
down
27 or 28 44.
Down to 200. I don't think I've ever gotten up to 200 rounds.
I have, but it's because I started the game with almost 400.
Wow. Yeah.
Because once I did Conquered and cleaned out that area all around the city and in Sanctuary, because of the mod I have in Sanctuary, it gave me a stash of bullets to start. So I ended up having at least 250, 300 there, plus what I got from Conquered. So I was using that.
Sorry. What bad guy uses 10 millimeter the most? Would that be gunners or? Because raiders, I assumed would be, but they use lots of pipe stuff, so that's usually
lots of
38s.
What do you think, gunners or who? Who should I go?
I don't think anyone really does. Like,
No
I think it's a weird
gunners
choice.
are mostly
Maybe Triggermen with their submachine guns, or are they 45 auto?
Oh,
I don't remember.
Those are
what
45, but they do carry a lot of
Shit.
10s.
Okay.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah, so that's an option.
I'll go rescue Nick and see if I can run into those Triggerman guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What ammo are you using?
Me, 10 millimeter.
Okay.
Because I've
Maybe
got
mix it
an
up a little more
explosive.
too.
Well,
But you'll also get a lot of 10 millimeter killing the ghouls in 28.
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Because most of them carry 10 millimeters.
Well, good. All right.
Definitely have found some.
Good deal. I'm also carrying a laser pistol, but I've got the whatever the shotgun mod is called, where it scatters the beam, and so that's pretty much a close range pistol. If I'm using my 10 millimeter with like the long barrel for anything that's like over 50 to 100 paces away, and I switch over to my laser pistol if things get a little bit closer, because with the explosive effect on my 10 millimeter, and I've started to get into all of my perks. I've maxed out Demolition Expert. And I'm like, ha, fuck you guys. I'll get to explode everyone. Well, that also explodes me. Like I need to
Yeah.
I need to invest in. Jess was saying I think
Padded
it's called
chest armor or
padded,
something.
right? Yeah,
I was going to
padded.
ask you about your armor. Like, were you ever able to upgrade it? Because I was.
Yeah, I
I was
finally
able to
got
mod it.
level 4 armorer, and I've got, I think, out of my 5 pieces of armor, I've got at least 3 decent legendary pieces now, if not 4. I might have 4 now. So I've got 4 decent legendary perks on armor, and I've got armorer level 4. So I've got the top level of all my armor now. So I'm still like I've got decent protection. Like when things shoot me, like I can withstand a few shots now. It used to be like you get shot once or twice and you're dead. But now I take 5 or 6 bullets and I'm still doing okay.
So where I'm at is 5 or 6 usually. Yeah.
But then I shoot back, and if I clip the wall beside me or something, boom, I'm dead. Because my explosive pistol with the Demolition Expert stacked on top of the explosive damage is now doing over 130 damage, and in close proximity, that just takes me down almost immediately.
Yeah, because you increase the diameter of explosions and stuff too. So you really do need another pistol for up close. Maybe just like the 44 is working for me, but maybe just even a hunting rifle. I mean, the problem is perks for pistols and rifles are different. So just the most upgraded pipe pistol you can get, I guess, if you don't have any 44 ammo.
I'm stashing all my 44 ammo.
For Kylogs.
Well, because I've got the Gainer, which is, an incendiary 44, which is a pretty decent pistol. But, I'm stashing all of it that I can have. And then I look each time I go back to the workbench. I'm like, okay, do I have enough? No, I still only have like 120 rounds. That'll last me one trip out, and then I'll be done using that pistol. So I need to switch it up more in combat instead of just depending on one pistol
That's
at a time.
what I'm doing. That's why, because I have them both on the hotkey. Well, I have all three on the hotkey with the laser.
Yeah,
and
me
so
too.
if I'm in a really dangerous situation with like a glowing one or something, I'll switch to the 44 and use that on their heads.
Yeah,
but with regular ghouls, everything else, I'm on the 10 millimeter, and mixing it back and forth. I'm not running out of ammo as much. Although by the time I'm done with 88, I might be. So I'm really glad to know there's a stash of ammo at the bottom.
I used to like ammo you don't use. I have
Sell
always
it.
kind of, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I've always kind of used explosives in the same manner. Like I pick up mines and grenades all the time, but I don't use them very often. I just usually sell them. But because I have Demolition Expert maxed out, which is not something I usually do that often, I've started using mines a lot more and grenades, and it's been really fun. And I forgot when I maxed out Demolition Expert, it gives you that like green throwing arc, so you can actually see where you're aiming and stuff. And so like
That's awesome.
I can get pretty, accurate and devastating with these grenades now. Like it's when Vault 88, you walk in there and there's two raiders right there by the login section, and then one sort of like across the way by the entry of the vault. And I was able to just walk in there and throw a grenade in the middle of the room and walk back out, and it killed all three of them at once. I'm like, wow, that was a large, huge explosion. That was great. So, that's what I've been doing a lot. It was really a lot of Vault 88 with Clem and clearing stuff out and reloading each time. And I think I went up, 7 or 8 levels just doing Vault 88 with my Idiot Savant procking. So that was been fun. But so we've got a little bit of feedback that we need to get into. So I figured we've got first time this season, Jen, who piped in. So she saw that we're playing Fallout 4, and she claims that that's her favorite game. So let's go ahead and check on with Jen, because I like Jen a lot, and I'm really glad that she's hopped on.
As we dance in the air, we make feedback.
Hi, Fallout friends. It's Jen, and I am looking forward to joining in whenever I can with this survival playthrough of Fallout 4. I was having some serious FOMO because I was listening to Will play and Soph and everybody on the podcast, and it was just making me a little sad because I wanted to play along. So here I am. I rolled my character. His name is Winter. He is not the brightest, but he is a fighter and a survivor, and if anyone can find their son in the wastes, he can. He's got a pretty comfortable fit for me in terms of build, with armorer and rifleman and local leader and action boy. Those are all staples for me. And I lucked out with a 9 in endurance, but only a 2 in luck, a 6 in perception, and a 5 in charisma. So, with an intelligence of 2, he is not the brightest, but he's pretty tough. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he'll get up to. So for this playthrough, I'm playing it pretty naturally as the quests come up, avoiding any grinding that I've typically done, and going through and discovering all of the locations that I usually do. Just kind of following the quests along naturally, as I believe Winter would follow them. So Winter has come across a few groups of individuals looking to survive, but everyone seems really sad because everyone has lost someone. They're all in the same boat as he is. And while he's happy to help out, he's pretty determined to do his best to find out what happened to his son. So he'll be making his way to Diamond City as quick as he can, following the words of a kind of drugged out lady that he met with the Minutemen. But his settlement is going to be Finch Farm, so that's quite a ways south. So he'll be, hitching a little place to sleep wherever he can, and hopefully making a home in Diamond City for a little bit until he gets down there. His faction is the Railroad, and He's going to be romancing Dance, which is going to be an interesting, interesting fit for the two of them, Railroad and Dance. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, friends, I'm looking forward to playing with you. I will try to keep up with the DLC stuff, but I am really enjoying this open play, so I don't feel like I'm delinquent in not handing in my homework if I get too busy with life stuff. So
Delinquent.
Thank you for doing this. I look forward to hearing all of your feedbacks. It's been a delight. So thanks so much, and thanks for having me.
Oh my God.
See you in the wasteland.
I miss you, Jen. Thanks so much for sending in feedback. So good to hear from you. Always good. Yeah, Endurance of 9, luck out, huh? Gee whiz.
Yeah, her character sheet. So she posted it in the Facebook group. Winter is a dashing fellow. I really like the look. And such a perfect build. Like all the right attributes, all the right skills for prime survival.
Yeah, good survival build. Right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, great job.
That's
Good
great.
to hear from you, Jen.
Yeah. But don't forget, Gary, too, is headed to the center of the galaxy. So
That's true. She's living in danger right now. Poor Gary, too. I'm worried about him. But I mean, Sherry made it to the center. Other friends have made it to the center. Gary, too, is I have a good feeling about it.
yeah.
And then he can get that retirement on the beach or,
Yep.
beachfront planet.
The Nordhagen planet, not Nordhagen Beach. Right on. All right, thanks so much, Jen. Let's check in with Blaze.
May 9th, 2327. This is the third recording of Mr. Slaughter's journey. Reaching the boxing gym at the General Atomics Galleria, Mr. Slaughter was surprised to find it nothing like he remembered. And not just because of the difference in time. Nothing was in the right place. Mr. Handy variants weren't parading around in the gym, he remembered. It was wrong. That thought made Mr. Slaughter stop and think, for the first time since entering the vault. No, even before then, since the bomb fell just to the south of his home. He had been running on adrenaline and panic for days now, just jumping from one problem to the next. It had taken the revelation of the gym to break the pattern. Now Mr. Slaughter slowly began to realize how poorly his mind was actually working now. He was sure of some things. He has a son that he needs to find, and he lived more than a lifetime ago. But what about his gym? Why did he think it was here? Was it even a real place? Or was his mind just creating memories to cope with his situation? After sitting panicked in a corner as the robots floated around him for what felt like hours, Mr. Slaughter decided that he couldn't worry about that right now. What good would his mental state be if he couldn't save Sean? And how could he save his son if he let himself be killed in the process by these monsters of a new world? He didn't know how long he had been sleeping since those two people had taken his son, but either they had been taking care of him, or he was gone already, and Mr. Slaughter would have nothing to live for anymore. Either way, a bright blue jumpsuit and a boxing glove wasn't going to get him very far out here. If there was one thing he learned from the army, besides that war never changes, was that supplies, comrades, and a base of operations meant the difference between success and failure. It was time to return to Concord. Over the next few weeks, Mr. Slaughter began to establish himself and the beginning of his influence over the Commonwealth. Saving the last Minuteman, Preston Garvey at Concord, establishing his main stronghold at the small abandoned settlement of Coastal Cottage, the precursor to the trading port town of Coastal Springs of today, and somehow obtaining his legendary weapon, the fabled three-clawed Hand of Death. May 18th, 2327. After several weeks of slowly expanding his territory and probing deeper into the Commonwealth, Mr. Slaughter finally reached Boston and Diamond City, which he knew as a place called Fenway Park.
Meeting the great reporter, Piper Wright, locked outside the gates, Mr. Slaughter gave his first of very few direct interviews, which was the first step of spreading the word of his actions beyond just those he helped directly.
Perfect. Sounds good. Does that mean he got the Deathclaw gauntlet? The three-clawed glove of death, did he say?
Sounds that way.
Must be some kind of gauntlet like that. Yeah. I like how the tape sped up at the very end, too. That was great. That was a funny effect.
Speaking of the Deathclaw gauntlet, I haven't gone to Wellington or the Witchcraft Museum or the Deathclaw nest yet. But I did have one spawn on a dead body that I found, which I don't know that I had ever had that happen before. I thought that it was like sort of like a one item that you could find, like I didn't realize that was in the loot pool.
I don't know that it normally is. Oh no, I guess after you're level 20, once you're high enough level, they can be sold by merchants. But there is the one that's in the Deathclaw Nest area by Lynn Woods, right? That you would normally find.
Yeah, I didn't realize they would spawn like that. And speaking of spawning, once I hit level 30, I noticed, even though I haven't been to Nuka World yet, Nuka World shit is now spawning. Like I don't even know what it was, but there's like.
Did you use one of the integrated leveled list mods like I'm using, or no?
I don't think so, but it's just like a Disciples something or other is dropping, and a pack mask. I found a pack mask. I'm like, what? That's weird. I haven't been there yet, but like, evidently the people I killed had gone and had a good time at Nuka World, brought some souvenirs back, and then I killed them and took their souvenirs, I guess is what's
perfect.
happening.
I'm glad that got mixed in. Yeah, it must be because of your appropriate level and stuff that it's just happening. Cool.
I did see the radio signal pop up and, go check out Nuka World. I'm like, no, I'm not ready yet. I still need to level up 40 more times.
It's not on the schedule.
Not scheduled yet. Coastal Cottage, that's one of my favorite locations, the settlements. I really like that. I don't know why. Just sort of tucked up out of the way. I always remember Victor speaking fondly of it back in the day too. He always liked it a lot. I really like that place.
Yeah, it's hard to build on. It's not very flat, but if you can integrate with that little building that's there, the small schoolhouse type structure, and the main building,
and
it's not bad.
Little sort of underground tunnel there a little bit. That's fun.
I think Frank Slaughter's feedback, one of the things that's interesting about it too, being a low intelligence character, like coming to terms with the fact that he is now low intelligence because of the accident that happened when he was hit with the blast going in, that he's just suddenly beginning to realize what's happened. And I wonder with the beginning to realize if that also means that they're putting to the point intelligence. So he like maybe has gone from 1 intelligence to 2 intelligence at this point and is kind of realizing how much he doesn't remember right or doesn't know anymore, can't do anymore. That's just kind of an interesting part of the story.
He put on some intelligence glasses and sees a little more clearly. All right. Thank you so much, Blaze. Let's go ahead and hear from
Greetings, Wastelanders. This is Lee Benjamin with the continuing story of Mamba Caramba, Attorney, Post-Law. We are headed to Diamond City via Oberland Station and found Vault 81 along the way. There I met a lot of people, including a young boy named Austin. He's a bright lad with a racket, showing newcomers around for 5 caps. I think he'll go far. Street, or in this case, vault, smarts are useful, but I also told Austin's class how important school is. I would never have become a lawyer without the drive to complete my education. Having a broad education with an emphasis on science and law has definitely helped me survive in the wasteland. Settlements, expanding the Minutemen. Lots of travel, but without going very far. At least with the caravans, we don't always have to travel alone. Reported back to Oberlin Station about clearing sunshine tidings. When I headed back to Grey Garden on my way to Starlight Drive-In, I realized Robert wasn't with me. I backtracked and found he'd passed out on a sandbar near the bridge foundation in the middle of the river. He was reluctant to admit he was grateful for the help. The settlements we've established are constantly growing to the point where I had to turn off their recruitment beacons just to keep up their support. Finally made it to Diamond City, lots of people, lots of supplies. Met a local newspaper reporter named Piper at the gate. She scammed a guard into letting her in the gate, only to find Mayor McDonough waiting to accuse her of slander. She sloughed it off and was impressed that I actually got some information out of the mayor about a local detective who might help me find my baby, Sean. His name is Nick Ballantyne, and he has an office in a back alley. Piper invited me to stop by the newspaper office later. When looking for Nick Ballantyne's offices, I gave a small chuckle when I saw his neon sign, a heart with an arrow through it. But the more I learned about him, the more appropriate it became. I talked to Ellie, his secretary, and was told that he was missing. He had likely been abducted by a local gangster with a grudge while investigating a runaway. Ellie seemed skeptical when I told her I would find Nick for her. She had just met me after all. One problem at a time. That's how I attack things. On my way out of town, I stopped to talk to the newspaper woman, Piper. She wanted to interview a vault dweller new to the wasteland. I told her about being frozen and losing my husband and baby. She took notes and asked for a final statement to the people of Diamond City about what I thought about the wasteland. I took a few minutes and considered all I'd done and seen since leaving the vault. My first impression was that I might be alone in this destroyed parody of what Boston was before the war. With my travels, I instead found out other survivors were doing what most people do. They just wanted to get things done and make a better life for themselves. Some chose to take, but even now, some chose to give and help others with what little they have. And that gives me hope for the future. It will be a long road, but I think in the end, humanity will survive despite its tendency towards suicide. Left Diamond City and headed to the subway station where Nick was last headed, and I got my first real look at one of the big towers since my return to Boston. It stood majestic, despite some wear and tear, silhouetted against the rising sun. It was inspirational. Entering the subway station, we found old-style gangsters chatting about their boss Skinny, Nick, and Skinny's girl. After fighting through the gangsters to gain entry to the heart of the subway station, it was a surprise to find a vault-tech door numbered 114. I took stock of my supplies and realized that all my supplies were depleted. Regretfully, we had to retreat to Hangman's Alley, resupply, and return the next day. Fortunately, Skinny's recruitment staff must have been on vacation, as it was a simple walk back to the vault door. Beyond that was another series of firefights until we finally found the room where Nick was being held. Speaking through an intercom, he emphasized the need for haste before someone came looking for his guard. When the door opened, he was backlit to obscurity. He was not as he first seemed. He was a mechanical man and described himself as an early model synthetic person, as the woman at Diamond City General Store referred to the constructs of the Institute. He had been imprinted with the memories and abilities of one Nick Valentine, a Boston police detective. We headed out. It was a tough fight to get out. It cost me the heart-wrenching task of leaving behind both Dogmeat and Robert, as I had no stim packs to give them. I left them with what supplies I had left. Then Nick and I confronted Skinny Malone on the way out. The runaway was actually Skinny's new flame, and her vote was just to kill us, until I convinced her that she had a life outside of the vault, and she left. When Malone and his men were dealing with her departure, I pretended to stumble over a crate and pushed a bottle cap mine into their midst. I then slowly backed up and let Nick talk. When I saw that the negotiations were not going well, I raised my weapon and exploded the mine. It didn't take them all out, but it did soften them up. After leaving the vault with Nick, I promised to meet him at his office. I returned alone to Hangman's Alley for a much-needed rest. In the morning, I got a message saying that Dogmeat and Robert were alive and waiting for me at other settlements. Returning to Nick's office, he and Ellie listened while I told them about the murder and kidnapping. Their suspect, a man named Kellogg, had a house in town, but had been gone for a few days. We went to check it out. Along the way, hearing Nick talk, his slow, methodical manner reminded me of an old court case where a Boston detective had testified on behalf of one of my clients. It wasn't the same man, but it might have been his imprint which was placed on this synthetic parody of a man. He was well respected both then and now. After finagling a key for the house, we found a secret room with lots of things that seemed to be those of a spy or a mercenary. These included some cigars that Nick thought Dogmeat could track. Since I already had Dogmeat and Robert with me, we left Nick and told him we'd check back when we'd learned anything. Dogmeat led us south out of town and then west along the railroad tracks. We wound up west of Oberlin Station at Fort Hagen. There we had to battle our way through a legion of synths. It was so bad all our best weapons were out of ammo. But fortunately, we found the password to the armory and picked up what Sturgis, one of Preston Garvey's charges, would call a seriously sweet goodie, a Fat Man mini-nuke launcher and a single mini-nuke for it. Kellogg's last fatal act was to doubt the abilities of one Mamba Caramba, attorney, post-law.
Thank you, Lee.
That's awesome.
I was looking at Lee's. Of course, everyone should join the Discord live, watch the show, or listen to the show, because Lee provides photographs of all of his adventures. I'm looking at the last one here of Nick and Mamba Caramba. You got some nice booty shorts on there, Lee. Looks like you got a clothing mod downloaded there
Yeah.
or something. I was just wondering, it popped in my head. You give dog meat a whiff of the cigars. Is tracking a skill that German Shepherds are typically good at without, previous training and such? Can you just be like, go find it, boy? Like, is that something Shepherds are good at? You always hear of like bloodhounds and stuff doing that sort of thing, but I was just wondering.
Any dog has a good sense of smell.
Yeah.
Um,
But don't they have to be trained to be able to do
but
that?
yeah, there's typically significant training. But dog meat's special.
He's
Well,
special.
Nick
Dog meat's
says
spe-
that he's
He-
dealt with.
He
dog
also
meat before, so-
understands English as well. You know what I mean?
A little bit. I mean, yeah, like Lee said, many police dogs are shepherds, and I mean there is training involved. Now, if you're doing like search and rescue, like I've done a little bit of search and rescue dog training, and there are dogs that specialize in it a little more. But especially with a volunteer group, many dogs will come in for the training. It's not necessarily all, the Bassets and the ones that we know have like the
the sensitive sniffers.
largest sense of smell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any rescue pugs out there, Jess?
Not that I'm aware of. I think their ability to traverse terrain might be slightly compromised. Also, not banging into trees occasionally.
They run out of breath after they run about 15 feet. So poor guys.
Yeah, he went that away, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Over there. Go check over there. Very nice. Thank you so much, Lee. We have one more feedback tonight. This is Archon, who's been on the show a couple times a long while back, but this is the first play-along feedback, so welcome to the project, Archon. Thank you so much for submitting.
Hey guys, Archon here, longtime listener, first-time caller, with my much delinquent feedback of Mr. Miles. His starting stats are Strength 4, Perception 3, Endurance 9, Charisma 2, Intelligence 1, Agility 5, and Luck 4, with the assigned perks of Heavy Gunner, Rifleman, Ghoulish, Attack Dog, Science, Moving Target, and Idiot Savant. My follower is Preston, my romance is Gage, my Commonwealth faction is Minutemen. My settlement is Taffington Boathouse, and my Far Harbor faction is the Harbormen with the Far Harbor settlement as Longfellow's Cabin. My Nuke World faction is the Commonwealth. Since my faction is the Minuteman, I made it a point to go to get local leader as well. After leaving the vault with everything I could carry in my pockets, I went down to Sanctuary, cleared it of all enemies before doing a quick setup of the basics and running off to Red Rocket and clearing that as well. Pulling the resources of both, I was able to set up a recruitment beacon and ran off to several marked and unmarked locations, including the Ranger Cabin, Wicked Shipping, Sunshine Tidings, and Gorski Cabins, before heading back and unloading and finally pulling Preston and the gang out of the museum. Everything went pretty smoothly, mostly managing to kill the raiders before they even knew I was there. After chatting with Preston, it was up to the roof for the power armor and the minigun, but after ripping it off the vertebrate, I pulled my rifle back out and cleared out as many of the raiders from where I was as I could. After a bit, Big and Ugly popped out of the sewers, and I put a couple of shots into it before it hid behind the buildings, and I finally had to drop down, pulling out the minigun and laying into it. After that, and everyone was getting back to Sanctuary, and everyone had a job, Preston sent me over to Ten Pines, and they, of course, wanted me to go to the Corvega plant. Then the pain really began. I did close to 10 attempts before I decided to split the trip and had to save at Sunshine Tidings just before going to the factory, so I didn't have to repeat so much of it. After clearing the outside as much as possible from the overpass, I headed inside and cleared the 3 rooms just to get to Jared and complete the mission. I headed back to Ten Pines to report my success, and then on to Sanctuary, where Preston glitched and gave me 3 settlement missions at the same time. So I grabbed him and set off. First heading to Starlight Drive-In, setting that up with the recruitment beacon, which I immediately turned off, and then headed on to Oberlin Station. They wanted me to clear the Taffington boathouse, and on the way there, I ended up getting sidetracked by the Brotherhood of Steel and trekking to ArcJet, with the follow-up missions to clear the College Square and retrieve tech from Backstreet Apparel. I cleared the square and then pushed on to Taffington to clear out the bugs and set up the basics before turning back and running into Ada, being ambushed.
Yay!
After saving her, I sent her around the corner to Taffington and pushed on to Backstreet Apparel to finish off my Brotherhood initiation, and then on to Oberlin. After which, Preston decided to fuck off to the castle, and I ran back to Sanctuary to pick up dog meat, then making my way to the Old North Church via Bunker Hill. It took a couple of attempts, one of which I ran into a group of Rust Devils that included 2 Sentry bots and a Legendary Raider. Another time, I made it to the railroad and put on my fancy clothes, only to immediately be overencumbered, so I backed out to trade with Dogmeat, only to be mowed down by Glory. Eventually, we arranged to clear the switchboard, and I followed the Freedom Trail backwards to Good Neighbor, where I met with Kent, the Vault Tech salesman, and McCready before pushing on to the Park Street station to pull Nick out. Slowly pushing through all the triggermen and over-encumbering my companion before actually dropping into the vault, I left a bottle cap mine at the entrance, allowing me to skip the conversation on the way out. After coming out of the vault, I decided to put the adrenaline to good use and pick on Swan, and dragging him over to the southeast corner of the Commons to play with the Raiders and the mutants there before finishing him off. Since that area was mostly clear, I decided to pop into the combat zone and pick up Kate, and stopped by Hubris Comics for Kent on my way back to Diamond City, purchasing a home plate and stopping by Piper to give an interview. I also investigated Kellogg's house and began clearing out the locations near Diamond City with Kate. She apparently has little to no stealth, as I have caught a couple grenades to the face after the Raiders spotted her.
Ouch.
But I managed to hit level 31 and have all of my assigned perks started with the only additional perk being local leader. I'm currently making rounds to my settlements, gathering resources to take on the castle so I can get Preston back, and then off to Vault 81 for some armor upgrades. And that's all for now. I'll see you guys in the Wasteland.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the first damn feedback. That is darn impressive, sir. And such a game flow of every little thing he did. He did it like, I think, exactly backward of how I would go about things.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it was incredibly succinct, but an unusual order. It's like I was teasing Tyrell, a gaming gearhead, for, getting settlements so early and going to attack the castle. But he did it kind of like the Ray way, where he got all those settlements early, like really focusing on settlements, and then sent Preston packing. And he's not following it, not till he's ready.
I mean, that was my plan originally, getting all the settlements, and we all know how that turned out.
I just thought it was funny that he went to Oberlin Station, and instead of them sending him to Backstreet Apparel, which is like 99% of the time where they send me, they send him to Taffington, but on his way to Taffington, he got distracted by the Brotherhood of Steel, who then in turn sent him to the Backstreet Apparel, which is where Oberlin Station was going to send you anyway. So I just thought that was a really funny,
you had to get there somehow.
funny,
there are only so many places they'll send you early on.
And he was talking about Swan and pick him up and take him over to... I never thought about taking him to the Raiders. I always go over to the subway entry and back down in there so he can't actually hit me, and I just take pot shots and kill them very slowly using 200 rounds of 38 or whatever from whatever useless pipe pistol or whatever I have. I haven't gone over to that area of the map yet, but
I've never tried that method, the subway method you mentioned. Strategic gazebo usage, that sort of thing. I like how Archon approached it. I mean, finding the railroad first and starting that stuff and then following the Freedom Trail backwards to Good Neighbor. Yeah,
Good Neighbor, right.
A lot of it is kind of backwards, but it definitely worked. Hitting the north part of the map, making the way over and getting that done. So yeah, I like it. Also, level 30. Like first feedback to level 30, and I'm just hitting level 19, 20.
That's great.
Yeah,
and the 2 sentry bots and a legendary. I was like, what's the raider doing in there? The Rust Devils. That's hilarious.
Yeah, where you never do find the Rust Devil robots at?
Where?
In the river.
Yeah, they don't swim so well, do they? No swim bots. They're swarm bots.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have to follow Ray into the river. Go with the flow.
Yeah, into the river.
I mean,
go with the flow.
Where did I go? Oh,
everywhere.
I went from Abernathy Farms to the Red Rocket, and then up to
the pond
Sanctuary to find Codsworth. And on my way back, there was a robot attack from the Mechanist robots, and I died.
They're dangerous. They are dangerous. That's why I haven't started Automatron. I know Andrew did early, and I may get brave.
Yeah. So, since I only went there to try to get Codsworth, and that didn't work. I just didn't go there again. I just,
Codsworth
take me
can
back
stay.
to the river.
Very smart. Shalene mentions that she thought taking on Swan in survival did seem like a wild idea. How about no for her?
No, thank you.
I'm with her there. I mean, I will at some point, but that's one of the reasons I'm taking my time, discovering the other part of the map first.
I'm not messing with him. No.
No, I was across the street. So, there was that whole road. He was on the far side of the pond from me, and one slam from his anchor, and I was dead.
Yeah.
Wow. Other side of the street, and you were dead?
Yeah, I was over at the Boylston Club.
So you can't even get the usual protection by getting on top of something, really. I mean, since I have my jetpack, maybe if I get on top of the gazebo, I wonder if he could hit or not. I don't know. But yeah, it's danger zone for sure. Danger zone.
Yeah, hats off for sure.
Well, good job, Archon, and thank you so much for your first feedback. Please keep them coming in. Enjoyed it, sir. All right, guys, let's move on to...
What time is it? Game time! Woo!
And on Game Time this week, we've got a couple of prizes. So we're going to give away a prize to the winner of this week. Ray, we'll have you play for Shalene. Jess, you'll play for Lee. And Eric, you will play for yourself. If you win, I will send you the prize, sir. All right, so tonight on Game Time, what I have done is, as a couple of weeks ago, I was watching all the post-apocalyptic movies that I could get my hands on, and I was still just thinking about those, and I've been watching Chernobyl again, and just been really leaning into this post-apocalypse stuff. And nuclear disasters and whatnot. So on this edition of Game Time, what we're going to do is a game called Post-Apocalyptic Taglines. So what I've done is I've collected the top 10 grossing movies and series of movies. If there are multiple installments of the movie series, I've collected them all as one. But I've taken the top 10 box office post-apocalyptic movies, and I'm just going to give you the tagline, and who can buzz in with their name and tell me which movie this is identified by the tagline. You will get a point, okay? And whoever has the most points at the end of the round will win the prize for the listener, or Eric can win it for himself. So let's go ahead and roll right into it. First.
Yes,
go ahead.
I'll apologize to Shalene now. You drew the short straw.
Shalene, oh come on,
I'm trying
Ray.
to think of
You
how many
love
movies there
movies.
are. Yeah.
Oh God, there's hundreds of post-apocalyptic movies. They're crazy how many. I was surprised how many there are.
And so we're naming the movie and not the tagline. You're doing the tagline.
I'll give you the
right?
tagline.
Yep.
And you tell me the title of the movie or the movie series. Okay.
Okay.
It could be like a bunch of different movies in the same series here. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with one that I think is a little bit easy. So,
are we buzzing in or going in order?
Let's buzz in with your name. How about that? Okay. And I hope I don't overestimate you guys and say by saying this is easy. We'll see here. All right. Number 1. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Jess. The Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games series. Yes, absolutely. Good job,
That's
Jess.
what I was thinking. I was thinking you were thinking like in-game movies. I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
No. These are real movies that we've all seen in the theater or at home.
Definitely did.
Or TV shows.
Well,
Wait a minute.
Ray hasn't
We
seen
all-
it. If it's not a detective TV show, Ray hasn't seen it. Well, you got Luther, and Luther's in your new Cyberpunk DLC, so I bet you're pretty excited about that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So the next one here, the last man on Earth is not alone. The last man on Earth is not alone. Anyone? Eric.
It's that one with Will Smith.
Yes, it is. Can you give me the
Yep.
title?
The one I was thinking of too. You got this.
No.
Jess, do you have the title?
Jess. Okay. So what's interesting is this is either it is kind of a remake.
It is. You're right.
Yes. And the name is escaping me too. I want
I'll
to
take
say
the original
like,
title if you want, because they're both on there. Can you know the original one it's based off of?
It's like A Boy and His Dog, but it's not. It's
I Am Legend.
Oh, there you go.
There you
Eric.
go.
I'll let
Eric have
Eric
it.
steal that
his
one.
turn. He got it.
Based off the Charlton Heston classic, The Omega Man.
There we go.
All right, here we go. Number 3. Somewhere in the universe, there must be something better than man. Somewhere in the universe, there must be something better than man.
And this is a post-apocalyptic movie or TV show?
Yes. No TV shows. These are all movies. Any guesses in 3?
Jess.
Jess.
War of the Worlds.
No. Ray? Eric?
All right. Ray will throw in Planet of the Apes.
Absolutely. Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Good job, Ray. Love that. Okay. Number 4. Reality is a thing of the past. Reality is a thing of the past.
Eric? Is it Ready Player One?
No, it's not Ready Player One. Although that is, I saw that one.
Good
not too
guess,
long ago.
though.
That is a good movie. Yeah. Ray or Jess? Any guesses? Reality is a thing of the past. In 3.
Give us a second. We can get this.
Okay, I'll give you another second.
Jess. It's not this. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
It's not.
It's kind of apocalyptic for the Earth.
All right. Here, you guys can all hop back in and I'll give you another famous line from the movie. I know Kung Fu.
Oh, Matrix. Eric.
Eric, the Matrix. I'll give that to you. All right. Next up. If you can fight, fight. Help each other. Be prepared for anything. Our war has just begun. If you can fight, fight. Help each other. And be prepared for anything. Our war has just begun. In 3.
Jess.
Jess.
There's no like negative to guessing, so we got to at least I'll try one. I
go
think.
ahead.
Apocalypse Now.
No, not Apocalypse Now. Any guesses, Ray or Eric?
Negative.
Negative. Eric, want to swing?
No, I don't think so.
This one is a zombie movie starring Brad Pitt called World War Z. World War
Clint
Z.
put that one in chat, so thanks for not going with that, Eric.
All right, here we go. He rules the roads.
Eric.
Ray.
I heard Eric
Go
first.
Mad Max.
Mad Max, absolutely, Eric. Good job. And next, the thing that won't die in the nightmare that won't end. The thing that won't die in the nightmare that won't end. And I'll give you the most famous line from the series. I'll be back.
Jess.
Jess.
The Terminator.
The Terminator, absolutely.
Thank you for the gimme for Lee.
Second
Next
Arnold
up.
reference of that show.
Next up. Nothing ruins a good party like the end of the world.
Oh, I love
Eric.
that one.
I mean, you can go ahead.
No, you got it. You said your name.
This is the end.
This is the end. Absolutely. You guys are doing much better at this than not that I ever doubt your skills, but here we go. Next up. Some will kill to have it. He will kill to protect it. And just a hint, I saw this one not too long ago and talked about it on the show. Some will kill to have it, but he will kill to protect it.
Jess.
Jess.
The Last of Us.
No, not The
I know.
Last of Us. It's not a movie. Eric. Some will kill to have it. He will kill to protect it.
Sounds familiar. I just don't remember.
No.
Is there a famous line from it we might know?
Denzel. Was that Denzel? Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, him again. The Road.
Oh, no, the other one that I saw that same weekend.
Oh, Ray. Look
Ray,
at Eli.
The Book of Eli. Good job, Ray.
Nice.
All right. And last up here, the last one we have, and this one I have not actually seen, but I've heard is really good. It's one of the top 10 grossing of all time. So, Earth is a memory worth fighting for. Earth is a memory worth fighting for.
Oh.
Eric, sounds like you might have a clue.
I haven't seen this, but I think I know what it is.
Okay, take a swing.
Is it The Passenger?
No.
The one with Chris Pratt and
No, not that
Jennifer
one.
Lawrence.
Jess. After Earth.
Oh, no.
It's such a bad movie, but I had to try.
Ray, do you have a swing?
No.
All right, that one is called Oblivion. I think that's a Tom Cruise
Oh,
movie.
yeah, that was the Live, Die, Repeat. That then, I think it was originally Oblivion, then had a different name, maybe.
Oh, did it?
Cool.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay, so Jess has 1, 2. Eric has 1, 2, 3, 4. And Ray has 1, 2. It looks like. So, Eric, congratulations. Just send us your address to the falloutfeed@gmail.com, and we'll drop you a prize in the mail. Great game, guys. Thanks so much for playing this edition of...
What time is it? Game time!
Good job, guys. That was fun. All right. So let's see what else we have on the agenda tonight. Probably some iguana bits to dig into, don't we, Jess?
Just a few. A very, very few. In fact, I think I might need to add a little bit of broth or something, make iguana stew, because there aren't that many bits right now. It's going to be kind of scarce. You might need a protein supplement.
That's okay.
First thing I want to mention is this week there was a Cold Shoulder cryptid challenging game that wasn't advertised. It was something you saw if you went and checked the challenge board for the challenges. So Eric, do you want to tell people about what you had to do to get that? I think it was 25 cryptids with cold shoulder, but clarify if I am
Yeah.
right.
I actually only knew because of the Modus Files Discord. Lawrence said something about it. So, yeah, you just go kill 25 cryptids with cold shoulder.
Damn. Hopefully that was a weekly. Gee whiz.
Yeah. It was a weekly, and they just kind of snuck it on the scoreboard without telling people. So everybody on Scorecation, probably didn't even know about it.
No, I didn't.
I thought about mentioning it yesterday, Andrew, and then I'm like, I don't want to ruin his Scorecation. I don't want to ruin Andrew's Scorecation, so I didn't even tell you.
I haven't even ducked into the Atomic Shop to see what any good deals are the last couple weeks. I probably missed out on a few cool items.
So yeah, I respawned at Fort or at Hemlock Holes quite a few times because there's the Grafton Monster and the two Snallies there. So got you a 4-poster bed, which is called the Huntsman's bed, which actually matches my couches pretty well. So,
nice.
Yeah, it's a great bed. Kind of like the Mothman cultist bed. It's good. And there's also, as Clint's mentioning, a daily cold shoulder challenge where I believe you have to get at least 5 days worth of the challenge, which is another reason why I didn't mention it because I found out a couple days late. You get a prize. Is it an outfit or a skin? No, it's a skin for the cold shoulder, if I recall correctly. Didn't write all that stuff down, but yeah. So if you're actually playing, go for the cryptid one at least. Like Eric said, you can jump. There are a couple ways to do it. You can jump a lot around Hemlock Holes, like you did, right? Mm-hmm. You can go if you know where the giant sloths are. You can go for that. Remember, Snallies count as cryptids, so if you get a train yard with Snallies, you are golden. Clean out those Snallies, and it'll add up pretty quickly.
And there's the 3 at that one little hunting lodge thing, the Toxic Larry's or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah, that one has 3 Snallies all the time. Mm-hmm. Eat here. Yeah, I like that place because you can get pretty much every kind of meat there. Like if you're looking for meat for a challenge too, you get almost every kind of meat there somewhere. I mean, it might not be in the best condition, but you can find it.
Yum.
Also in Iguana Bits, we've been talking a bit about the Xbox Showcase and Starfield because, well, Starfield is Bethesda. But we have a love for all of our consoles and friends out there, PC and PlayStation. And the PlayStation Showcase got a date this week. They will be doing their big showcase on May 24th at 4 p.m.
Hey,
that is a Wednesday. Up. That is this coming Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, so this is essentially what would have been their E3. The showcases are their big yearly event now. They started calling them showcase when they separated from E3 and were doing them this way since around the beginning of the pandemic.
There are a few things I miss on the old PlayStation, man. Those Spider-Man games look fucking awesome. And
graphically, they're so good. Yeah, there are a lot of things there. I just realized, okay, so I've had the PlayStation 5 for, 3 months now, and I've mostly only used it for 76 and not, Grumpy Dad Simulator, which everyone says I should try.
That's a real thing? That sounds amazing.
Well, it's called God of War, but yes.
Oh, okay.
Grumpy Dad Simulator. But that said, I just realized I could try Final Fantasy Remake 7, Final Fantasy 7 Remake. That didn't even occur to me. Like all these PlayStation games have been on I can't play them. They're on PlayStation.
Now you can.
Well, and Soph is posting such amazing pictures from Horizon. Like, oh my God.
Everybody, people do Horizon. That is definitely the game du jour. And I don't know that I'm going to like it. So that's why I'm not jumping on Horizon. But yes, those pictures are awesome. She actually had Photo Mode Magazine used one of her pics on a promo the other day, which was awesome. Our friend Soph. Smiling Aloy, really cute. But yeah, there's that. I mean, obviously Uncharted and Last of Us. I know Uncharted is something Andrew would wish he could play.
Yeah, I was still going to ask, have they done a recent Uncharted for the new gen, or is that still an older series?
They're done with that series for now.
Yeah, I thought so.
They may go back to it, but yeah, I know you've just got the other games. And
I know that they'll do they can do a prequel and then the son of Uncharted and my cousin who went to find a treasure. They can always come up with new storylines.
Yep. Yeah, they did one spin-off game already. What was that one called? It was the one it focused on 2 of the women, Elena and somebody else. Legacy of Thieves, maybe? No. Lost Legacy. Thank you, Shalene. She knows. So yeah, I have not played that many PlayStation games, but it's there. And if you're curious about what's coming up, the showcase is happening. Probably be some big announcements because they have a big announcement almost every year. Like PlayStation may have a slow year this year, like Xbox had a slow year last year, but you know they're going to have at least a banger or two come out. You know they're going to. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So that, and then the only other thing I put in Iguana Bits was this is the calm before the storm, because we are coming up to showcase season. You know, a lot of people holding back on gaming news right now because, well, you know, everyone's looking for the info of what's going to come out, and they're all hoarding the info for their showcase. And so, you know, it's a kind of a fun little game we're playing. But whatever you're into, you know, Nintendo will be doing a direct. EA, I believe, dated theirs. I feel like it's late June, early July. I don't remember exactly, but a lot of them are getting dated. We have the Cozy Direct, Wholesome Direct, I mean, and for cozy games, stuff like that. The day before the Xbox Showcase on the 10th, which will have a lot of fun stuff. The actual official, what is it called? A Summer of Games, Summer Game Fest will be the Friday before. I believe that's the 9th of June. So yeah, all kinds of things coming up. It's that season, so I cannot wait to get some more news. And meanwhile, I'm just biding my time until Diablo comes out for my next big game.
Boom.
You know, playing Fallout 4, but that Taste of Diablo was so good. I'll play Redfall in the interim.
Yeah.
But that's good. Zelda. Zelda came out too, but you know, you'd have to be like seriously living under a rock that needs exploded with a bomb to remove in order to not know Zelda's out.
I still need to finish the first one. Yeah.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah, you got 3 divine beasts or something, right?
Yeah, 3 out of the 4, I think.
It's just kind of funny seeing the pictures that people are posting on Twitter with the flames coming out, if you know what I mean. A lot of pictures like that.
Nice. No, I got distracted, but I definitely want to finish that first Zelda game, the Breath of the Wild, and then move on to get this new one. I heard people like disappointed. Oh man, it's just the same engine as the Breath of the Wild. They didn't even do any improvements, and I'm like, what were you expecting? It's still on the Switch. I mean, would they expect
If I remember right, it originally started as a DLC for Breath of the Wild, and then it
got too big.
Its own thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's a great place to start. We got 76 out of that kind of thing, so it happens.
Incredible.
But I've heard that it has a lot of improvements too in the systems. It's more of an immersive sim than ever, and people are loving it. Shalene's playing it right now, she says. She sure is.
Great.
Yeah, just so much happening. People loving the Zelda. So I just figured I'd shout that out too, because once again, Nintendo may not have many official games coming out this year. You know, they may release their like first party games pretty darn slowly, but the big ones are bangers.
They know how to make a game over there. Does Xbox, they've announced their big Carnival thing?
Yeah, that is June 11th, for the Starfield showcase. Some people will say, oh, the Starfield showcase is after the Xbox one. No, it's before the Starfield one.
And we're expecting, Starfield release date to be revealed then, or have they
That's already been.
That?
September 6th is the release date.
Of this year.
Cool. No.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, you've got so many people like enjoying your stuff on Discord, Andrew.
Oh, yeah?
They're all tossing it at me here and there. Like 2025, Q1 2024, like you say, 2028 from Sullivan. Like they can't help themselves. But we know it's coming up September 6th.
It's just fun to poke and prod, you know.
If I didn't get so worked up, you wouldn't do it, I know.
And so how about Fallout 4, revisited?
Nothing new since last time we talked about it, really. I'm still hoping.
But I mean, will it be revealed then? Do you think it'll be revealed during the June 11th presentation?
Could we get a little something extra? Yeah, well, because, right now, the overall Bethesda Game Studios and then the bigger Bethesda, a lot of their studios have recently released games, like within the last year or two. So there may not be much from Bethesda in general, but maybe they'll add that. Maybe we'll get something on the TV show.
Oh,
maybe
nice.
we get something on the next gen update. Maybe we get something, from id, but that's not what you're asking about with id. That's separate. But I think we could get some Bethesda news in the main Xbox thing.
Yeah.
But then Starfield will probably be just Starfield, and maybe if they're feeling cheeky, an extra like Bethesda tidbit. Plus, maybe we'll find something about the rumored mobile game that they have too.
I know what it is. It's Shelter Online. Woohoo!
Maybe it's Shelter Online. Maybe it's Starfield Online.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
space
That'd be
station
great.
simulator. Like it's
So-
basically Shelter, but space stations.
Someone told me I was from a different planet because I enjoyed Fallout
I
Shelter,
saw
Jess.
that.
Can you believe the audacity
was
of people
fantastic.
online? How dare they?
Welcome,
Western.
welcome, first time listener. After you, if you made it this far in the show, he said he was going to
hilarious.
check us out, and I'm like, yeah, it's funny. I responded, and we were talking about ranking, and I responded like, oh, well, maybe if you move this one and that one, we could agree. But I did it on the Fallout feed account, and so Andrew came in and said, that's not speaking for all the hosts. Fallout
thought that
Shelter is the
was
best
Andrew.
Fallout game ever.
You said
I thought that was Andrew
tactics.
posting
You said
until he, like,
tactics
countered
needed
you.
bumped up. I'm like, wow,
Bumped to
tactics
mid.
really.
He had it under bad. It needed bumped to mid.
I've never even played it, so I don't really know. But
Neither have I. I'm just making trouble too.
yeah, I
I'm just trying to
kind of
push everything up.
figured, but I wasn't sure. I mean, everyone loves New Vegas and puts that at the top. Like the fact that this guy had the like I said, audacity to not put New Vegas as the top of the list. That kind of like made a lot of people like, oh yeah, I see you're just posting to get reactions, like doing their typical bitter internet posting. But I kind of agree with him. New Vegas. I don't think that's the top Fallout game. But again, I wasn't introduced to the series till Fallout 4, so of course 90% of the time, the first game you play in a series will probably be the one you're most nostalgic for, and therefore it'll be your
I
favorite.
mean,
You know what I
think
mean?
I have a higher opinion of 3 in New Vegas than you do, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that New Vegas is the top either.
Yeah.
That's just me.
All right.
Ray would though, and see that's the thing.
Ray
We all have
loves
slightly
New
different
Vegas.
opinions.
Yeah, right. Ray loves that game. So yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good game.
Indiana Jones too. I should mention. I've mentioned id with what they might be working on, but Machine Games what they're working on too. They're still under the big Bethesda umbrella, and we know they have Indiana Jones and Wolfenstein 3.
Oh,
Like,
there's an Indiana Jones
happening.
game. That's fun.
Yes, it was announced a year and a half or so ago, being worked on by Machine Games, and it's exciting because this is something Todd's wanted to do a bit. So he's actually a producer on it, even though it's not directly Bethesda Game Studios, it's
that's
Machine Games.
fun.
He is a producer consulting on it based on an idea he had for how it might be implemented.
Is that under
So-
this sort of like a Bethesda Microsoft umbrella, or
It's that wing of it. Yeah, they're one of the studios owned by Bethesda that was acquired by Microsoft.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's fun. So will it be an exclusive to the Xbox then? Do we know
Well,
enough about it
hasn't
yet?
been announced, but most likely Xbox PC. I think that a fair, reasonable assumption is that most things will be Xbox and PC only from those studios, unless stated otherwise. They've said case by case basis, but it's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah. And new reviews about the most recent Indiana Jones movie. It just premiered at, I don't know, where was that, Cannes or something this last weekend. So, hot off the presses, and Indiana Jones is back from the dead, you guys. Like, I mean, if you've seen Harrison Ford recently, you'd say, woof, back from the dead indeed. So, no, but that'd be fun. I'd love to play an Indiana Jones game. That sounds like a good old time.
I'm excited to learn more about it. I mean, there's so much potential and so many things happening with Xbox Studios. We'll talk about that in the next couple of weeks, I'm
Yeah.
sure. I don't need to belabor it tonight. But I just wanted to mention PlayStation Showcase dated is a big thing, and we're getting more and more dates for things coming up. So,
Sounds good.
excitement. That's all my iguana bits. I'm sorry the stew was so sparse.
that's
Add a little
fine.
extra, spices for you.
Well, you guys, with the risk of ending the show a little bit early, I've got round 2 of.
What time is it? Game time!
You weren't expecting that, were you? Except for it was in the show notes, so you probably were. All right, Ray, you're playing for Shalene. Jess, you're playing for Lee. Eric, you're playing for yourself again. Part-time, game time, double time here. Okay, on this edition of Game Time, we are going to Fallout 4 survival mode. I spent half my damn time in the game cooking. What I'm going to do is give you, much like I gave you taglines, you give me the movie, I'm going to give you ingredients, and you tell me the name of the dish that we are cooking. Okay? Ray, you think you'd be better at this one?
Marginally.
Marginally. All right, so we'll start off at the top here. All right, game time. What's on the menu? Fallout 4 recipes. If I have a Tato, some dirty water, and a Deathclaw egg, what am I going to make? Deathclaw egg.
Deathclaw omelet.
No. Eric or Jess, do you have a guess? Deathclaw egg, dirty water, and a tato.
Deathclaw Wellington.
Yes, I'll give it to you. It's Wellingham, but yes, I'll give that one to you. Good job, Eric. All right, number 2. If I have a gourd, a silt bean, vodka, and radstag meat, what am I making? Gourd, radstag meat, silt bean, and vodka.
Is this for anyone in particular?
All of you. Shout out your name.
Let's just go with Jess. Radstag stew.
Radstag stew. Perfect, Jess. Good job. Okay. Number 3. If I have razor grain, oil, a Meyerlurk egg, and Meyerlurk meat, what am I cooking? Oil, razor grain, Meyerlurk meat, and an egg. Egg,
Jess.
meat, oil, and razor grain. Yes, Jess.
I'll say Meyerlurk hash.
No. Ray, Eric, do you have a guess?
I think Lee has the answer in chat.
Quit
I didn't wanna
cheating in
say it.
chat, you
Quit
guys.
cheating, Lee.
Lee, you...
I didn't want to say it.
Egg, meat, oil, and razor grain.
I'm not touching it.
Nope.
Basically, oil, flour, and eggs. What are we making here?
Pancakes.
Very,
we all
very
know it's a
close.
cake.
It's a Meyerlurk cake.
Yeah, that's what Lee got. He was good.
All right, coming up next, we have 3 razor grain, oil, a Meyerlurk egg again, dirty water, and a coffee tin. Coffee tin? So coffee, dirty water, Meyerlurk egg, oil, and 3 razor grain. Such a strange
That's
dish.
so specific.
Coffee, dirty water, Meyerlurk
Jess.
egg, oil, and razor grain. Yes, Jess.
Donuts.
Ooh, very close. Ray, Eric, do you have a guess? And
Nope.
3,
Nope.
2, 1. These are the Slocum's Buzz Bites. Slocum's
Oh, Buzz Bites. I was thinking Slocum's Donuts, but got the wrong one.
Very close, Jess. I thought you were going to nail that one.
Nope, sorry.
Yeah,
All right.
I only ever grill.
I don't bake. All right. We have a blood pack, 2 carrots, 2 mute fruit, purified water, and the pristine Deathclaw egg. Blood pack, 2 carrots, 2 mute fruit, purified water, and a pristine Deathclaw egg.
Nope.
Blood pudding.
Very close. Ray? Say the thing. Say the thing you said the first time.
What did I say the first time? Deathclaw omelet?
The Deathclaw omelet. It's a tasty Deathclaw omelet. Good job, Ray.
Nice.
You did. You
Why
got
do
that
they
one
add
all over.
blood? Ew.
A blood pack. Yeah, well, it's like
And a coffee
blood pudding. Why do they blood sausage? You ever had blood sausage? That shit's gross. All right. Coming up next, we've got a carrot.
Not if it's boudin.
You like who?
I
Dan?
love boudin.
Oh, boudin. You like blood sausage? I don't know what boudin is. Is that a?
It's a Cajun. It's spicy blood and rice.
That sounds awful. I'll have to try it sometime. All right. We have a carrot, a tato, and some yao guai meat. Carrot, tato, yao guai meat.
Yaguai stew.
Close. Jess. Eric.
Jess.
Jess.
Yaguai roast.
Yao guai roast. Perfect, Jess. Good job.
I made some of that the other day.
Yeah? Probably gives
In-game.
you, I bet you it gives you a big
I was gonna
boost of
say,
some
you
sort.
bear.
Yeah, greasy bear meat. Yum. All right, here's a basic one. Razor grain and dirty water. What do you get with razor grain and dirty water?
Razor green soup.
No, Jess or Ray? Razor grain and dirty water. I know Will is a big fan of this dish.
Wow, I really thought that
Indigestion.
Eric had it. I really thought it was razor green soup. I've definitely done this, but
It
razor
is
green
in
and water.
76.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, you don't grill it, so
Oh, noodle bowl.
It absolutely is the noodle bowl.
That's point for Green Dragon in chat. Don't give me a point.
Oh,
That's-
Green
someone else said it.
Dragon. You
I just wanted
guys
to find
need
out for
quit
him.
your cheating. All right. It's the noodle cup, actually, but,
Okay.
close enough. We have blood leaf, a carrot, dirty water ×2, squirrel bits, and a tato. Squirrel bits, tato, carrot,
Jess.
dirty water, blood leaf.
Blood leaf aioli.
No, Ray, Eric. It's not grilled, Ray, I know, but blood leaf, carrot, dirty water, squirrel bits, and tato.
Oh, okay. I know what it is now. It's more obvious one.
squirrel stew.
Squirrel
Yes.
stew.
Ray got it.
Attaboy, Ray. Okay. This one, we got 2 left here. This one, we've got a carrot, dirty water, and tato. Very simple. Carrot, tato, dirty water.
Jess.
Jess.
Vegetable medley.
Vegetable soup. I'll give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Vegetable soup. And the last one here from, I almost said Nuka World. It's not Nuka World. Fahaba. We have Mirelurk meat, tarberry, and antifreeze. What are we doing? Antifreeze, Mirelurk, and tarberry.
Ew.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of chugging antifreeze, even washing it down with tarberry. Like, what even is tarberry? Do we really know? Like, are they cranberries?
I
kind
assumed
of?
it was
I don't really know.
cranberry since they're grown in water like cranberries. You know what I mean? Like they're sort of they flood. They're grown in flood plains and such. Or in that pool up by the slog.
Mirelurk meat, antifreeze, and
tarberry. Antifreeze bottle, Mirelurk meat ×2, and 2 tarberries.
I mean, I want to say like cranberry crab relish or something, but I'm sure that's ridiculous.
Any guesses? In 3,
lobster bisque.
2. No, Jess. Ray, Eric.
Nope.
Nothing.
We've got Mirelurk jerky. Mirelurk jerky.
Oh, they freeze dry it with antifreeze?
I guess so. Gross. Don't eat that.
It's insane.
All right, so Eric got 1 of those. Jess got 1, 2, 3, and Ray got 1, 2. So, Lee, contact us with your address and we'll send you off a prize, sir. So very cool. Thanks, everyone, for playing this edition of Double Edition. All right, guys. Do we have anything else we would like to get into tonight on the show?
I am all good. I'm just excited to get through Vault 28 and get back out there.
Yeah, sounds good. I will be streaming on Saturday night something's one of the mods, quest mods, so I'm not sure if I'll go visit 28 myself or maybe the Madhouse place or the Raider prom, something. We'll go visit and check one of those out.
I do have a quick shout, actually.
Yeah.
I do want to mention that at tomorrow night's El Gato Cat Fights, Saturday, 8 p.m., there will be giveaways and all the stuff like usual, but one Eric Gold, a.k.a. Sulior, will be fighting.
Wow. Hey, man, good luck.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that.
Is it
It'll be my first ever fight.
The punchy robot version or normal cat claws?
I'm going to be naked.
Attaboy.
It's the naked and afraid version for sure.
Beautiful. All right. So, Eric, thank you so much for hopping on tonight and sharing all of your vast knowledge with us.
Yeah.
Please let us know about all the places we can find you online, including, are you going to do a Nintendo edition of the new Zelda stuff? So tell us about Nintendo. Tell us about the Tamrielic Adventures. Tell us all about, the tapes from the waste and everything. Let us know where we can find all those things.
So Nintendo's kind of pressed pause on that for a little bit. I'm trying to get together with KDB to review the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. But
oh, wow, I thought you were going to say the movie, but you're talking about the Super Show. Wow.
Yeah, well, we wanted to do this like leading up to the movie, and then like I said, he's got a lot of other projects that he works on as well. Tamrielic Adventures, I'm kind of going through the great houses of Morrowind with Necrom on the horizon, and Tapes from the Waste. We're gonna be going through the different factions in Fallout 4. We just put an episode on the Institute out.
I saw that.
We're gonna, we're wanting to do like a episode in a couple weeks where we're together to discuss what we're hoping is going to be a reveal of the TV show. We'll see.
Nice.
We may have to change the topic if that's not the case. But yeah, those have their own handles and everything. My personal one's Ian Gold 08, so which I've actually been a little bit more active on lately. So,
all right,
yeah, that's all that's been going on with me. So I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet, so I can't really review it. So
whatever, you can speculate.
Yeah.
All right, you can find him, like you mentioned, at IanGold08 over there on the Twitters, and the tapes from the Wastes podcast and Tamrielic Adventures and all of that stuff. So, Eric, thanks so much for hopping on, sir. Great to speak with you.
Fun as always. Thanks for having me.
And you can find her at You Wastelanders, also at Dames Who Game, and at Sleep Is For Tea. Jess, thanks so much for hopping on.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to feedback week next week again.
Yes.
And new people still joining this week. Like, we usually get feedback on feedback weeks only, but with people having a little extra, new people joining, coming in, feel free. This has been really nice. I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, excited to see people's continuing adventures. And remember, 2 more weeks heading to Far Harbor.
Yeah, we'll be in Far Harbor in a fortnight. So get your boots on, your waders, your hip waders, and hop on into that irradiated ocean water with us. We'll go to Far Harbor. You can find him at BBCISSS for all of your No Man's Sky needs, and also at A Skyrim Addict, and at Ray LB. Ray, thanks so much for hopping on.
Good times.
I am at Indie Android. The show can be found at the Fallout Feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
I'm gonna be naked.
People nearby can all show up and do it.
She went down.
Plink, plink, plinked in the butt, got up on top, and then went down.